All right. Let's see. Are we live? Okay, it says we're going live. I think we're live. Welcome to the... Refresh the page if you're watching. This is the Monday night strike because YouTube can't schedule anything properly. Even though you tell it it's for tomorrow night at 9, it's like, hey, yeah, let's do it tonight. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be for tomorrow night. Why won't you just do? But YouTube doesn't play nice, apparently. I think we've all figured that one out. So, the link for the chat is pinned on the YouTube live chat, so just jump in. So, I don't know what to talk about tonight, so I hope somebody comes in and has a topic. Now, if they want. I have no idea who just jumped in and then left. So, but yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, here he is.
There he is.
Isn't Monday Night Strike one night better than Tuesday?
Well, see, there's hit or miss Tuesday at 9 o'clock, and then there's, the Friday night strike, and then, occasionally there's either Saturday or Sunday night strike. There's never usually been a Monday night strike.
Ah, I see what you're saying. So this is in the inaugural Monday night strike, and I'm honored.
Well, if that's what you want to call it, then that's what we're calling it. So, I have nothing to talk about tonight. I had this scheduled for tomorrow, but YouTube just doesn't like taking scheduling options.
But okay, so there's been a lot of conversations about being this and being that and being the other. Why don't we talk about something fun tonight? Everybody's talking about the end of the world as we know it. What would be fun to talk about tonight?
I don't know. Nothing's been fun for me lately. Things have just been kind of nah. So you figure something out for me.
Okay, let's do this. Why don't we talk about shotguns tonight?
I've only got 2 shotguns. I really don't have a leg in this battle.
Well, somebody around here has some shotguns.
Yeah, I know. Geezer Gary's got nothing but shotguns and handguns. He just started getting into ARs. I mean, where's the bird? Bird is the word. Where is?
Yeah, we need Gary in here, man. I've got 25 shotguns.
I wish I had the money for that. Honestly, I really do. I just don't.
Time is your friend when it comes to collecting inordinate amounts of shotguns. That and understanding that sometimes the shotgun in the pawn shop is actually the good one.
You mean the one from the guy that wants to sell it for $50?
Dude, yeah, the $50 shotgun. That's a great way to get started in shotguns.
I got mine for $100. My first shotgun, and I still have it.
Nice.
It's still got the Sears sticker on it too.
Sweet. Is it a Charles Daly?
No, it's a Stevens 67E.
Okay, yeah, great shotgun.
The previous owner though had the barrel chopped down from the full length barrel to like 19 inches.
Nice.
So and he used it primarily just for like he said he used it just for like a door breaching shotgun or a just like a home defense shotgun.
I was going to say, did he do a lot of door breaching?
No, not really.
I mean, that guy's story is more interesting than everything I've ever done with a shotgun.
Yeah, so it's like he wanted like $150 for it, and I just threw a number out there at him on arms list, and I said, I'll give you cash. Would you take it? And he's like, hell yeah, I'll take it.
That's
so
how go ahead.
I mean, and that was a couple of years ago. Yeah, the shotgun is not anything to look at. It's old. What I'd really like to do is just get a bass bead sight and put that at the end of the barrel.
Oh, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet. I've got an 1187 that I pulled
brass bead, not bass. I caught myself there. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a hell of a night. I'm tired.
There was no reason to moderate you on it. I let it go. Yeah, I bought an 1187 that way one time. Old guy who'd been a police officer, and he said the department had gotten rid of him, and Those Police 1187s are great shotguns, but they were abused. Nobody ever took care of them.
Yeah. There's only one shot. I don't have the money for it right now, but there's only one shotgun I really want right now.
What's that?
I really want one of those Remington 870s with the ghost ring sights on them.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a Remington 870 DM tactical with ghost ring sights.
So
I'll sell you
there's a caveat. Not one made by Freedom Group.
Yeah, dude. I have that shotgun right now that I'll sell to you in the DM model.
I just don't have the money for it right now. That's just the issue because I can't pay what the prices they want on them are right now.
Well, they're about to be collector's item, I would think.
Yeah. But I've been seeing them. They've been going up to what, $400, $500, $600. I can't pay that.
Oh yeah. Well, the Remington DM was a horrible idea. It's like Mossberg and Remington lost their freaking minds when it came to magazine shotguns.
Yeah. Well, since we're on the thing of shotguns, I like pump shotguns. Don't get me wrong. I like pump shotguns, but I'm more of a fan of semi-auto guns, period, because that way I don't have to load it after every shot manually myself.
Right.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're gonna make a shotgun that's semi-auto, if you're gonna make a shotgun that has a magazine, a box magazine, I don't mind. It's just another idea that's out there. I don't mind if it's got a tube magazine, it's got a box magazine, or hell, if it's got some weird style loading mechanism, whatever. I don't care. But the problem is, if you're gonna make it semi-auto, make it either a tube or box. But if you're going to add a magazine to it, make it a semi-auto. Don't make it a pump because a pump magazine-fed shotgun just seems dumb.
Can I give you a perspective on it? Not an attempt to change your mind, but rather to give you perspective.
I don't care about perspective, but if you'd like to comment on it, go ahead.
So, a magazine-fed shotgun is inherently easier for a new shooter to learn how to use. Pump-action shotguns are significantly less ammunition finicky, so a magazine-fed pump-action shotgun for a newer shooter for home defense can be a nice thing.
Honestly, I don't see it because if you're gonna have a pump shotgun, it's better to have a tube because it's easier. It's a tried and true method, and it's worked for how many years now? Why change the recipe?
Well, the learning curve on shoving shells into the chamber or into the magazine of a shotgun under stress is significantly higher than to use a magazine, to just put a new magazine in.
To me, it just seems it's that much more work to put it in the magazine and put the magazine in the shotgun as opposed to just using a shotgun with just a normal tube.
But you get to preload the magazines, and you don't get to preload the tube but once.
No, you
Just
can.
a thought.
No, you can put a few shells in the shotgun, load one into the chamber, and then add a couple more until it's full.
Yeah, but most people under stress suck at that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the learning curve is a lot lower. Yeah. But you have a valid point.
The whole magazine thing just said, hey, here's how to waste even more time with your shotgun at the range. Because not only do you have to either reload the one magazine that came with the gun, or you have to, take the empty magazine out, put a new fresh mag in, and then use it. And I was just like, why not just get a semi-auto shotgun that does that already? It just, if you're gonna use a shotgun, if it's gonna be a magazine fed, it should be semi-auto. It shouldn't be pump. Just my opinion.
I will. So I have extensive training in tactical shotguns, and I can outrun myself consistently with magazines. And so to Kingpin's point, what about clearing jams on a mag feed under stress? So magazine fed shotguns and tube fed shotguns get the almost exact same malfunctions. And in general, because of the fact that the action is open on a magazine fed shotgun, it's a lot easier to clear the malfunctions than it is to clear one on a tube fed shotgun.
Yeah.
So I run. So my tactical home defense setup has 4 magazines in a Russian style carrier that are ready to go at all times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Running hard and fast. And New York Outcast actually has a great solution to what you're talking about.
Have you ever had problems with your magazines having the shells sit there for a while, have the shells squish up against each other, warp? I've heard that's a problem. Some.
You have to load them one low or keep the bolt open. I keep the bolt open on mine. So it's the shotgun is sitting with a full 10-round magazine with the bolt closed, or it's sitting on an open bolt with a 5-round magazine. The 10-round magazines for the Turkish shotguns have more travel beyond the 1 round, so they don't squish the top round.
But again, as I said, it just seems pointless to me.
It seems pointless.
I mean, if you're gonna get a magazine fed shotgun, get a semi-auto, because at least you know what you're getting into. But with a pump, it just seems like they had a good idea, they were onto something, and then they dropped the ball.
Yeah, like I said, I see the positive for both sides, and I've consistently had good luck with putting a magazine-fed pump-action shotgun in the hands of somebody who's never shot before, and see them be able to operate that and reload a lot faster. But I think we're all entitled to our opinion.
What I really like about the magazine-fed shotguns, really my favorite thing is the short shotguns like a Mossberg Shockwave or that Kalashnikov Comrade, where it's short and it's whatever, it's not a shotgun, it's a firearm. You can still have 25 rounds of 12 gauge loaded in that short little package, whereas a tube just needs that length to have any sort of capacity.
Of course, now the tube is the only one that'll let you use the mini shells.
The mini shells, and that's what I was going to get at. With tubes, you can use the mini shells, and there's not as much shot or powder as would be in a normal shell. But at the same time, depending on the size of your tube, you could get like 10 mini shells in a normal tube. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on the size of your tube.
But of course, again, going back to a newer shooter, which is where I'm talking from, right?
I know.
Yeah, that you're trying to shove mini shells. But yeah, for an experienced shooter, if you're good with cramming shotgun shells in, I see no reason not to use a tube shotgun.
Yeah. So, I mean, just personal preference. And if anyone says, well, Night Strike, what about shotguns that are both semi-auto and pump? And there's really only two versions of shotguns that are like that. That one of them's banned in the United States. Actually, I think both of them are banned technically, but you can still buy one of them. Like the USAS 12 is banned in the United States. That's because it's also full auto in it.
Yeah.
But that also had a semi-auto and pump function. And then there's the SPOS 12, which was pump in semi-auto.
Isn't there another one?
Benelli M3.
M3, yeah. Benelli M3,
yeah. M3.
Good job.
Yeah, but
and the Benelli M3 isn't that US legal? Can't we buy that one? Yeah,
we can buy that one.
But believe it or not, at one point we could get semi-auto USAS 12s in the country, and then the government banned them.
Dude, that would almost make up for not being able to get an AA-12. That would do it.
And if people say put Night Strike, the USAS 12 is a South Korean shotgun. Yes, but it was built to look similar to an AR. And
sorry.
And I've never held one, but I've always liked the look of them, and I've liked the way the magazines look in them. Okay.
Yep. Without looking it up, who can tell me what the manufacturer is?
Daewoo.
Outstanding. I had a DP-51 for one of my early carry pistols. That was an amazing pistol.
Yeah. You don't even have to ask me who the manufacturer is of that gun, because I don't know what it is. I've always liked that gun. and it may just be because in video games, when I used to play video games, it would always be in video games, because it was like one of the, in the 90s, it was like the go-to shotgun everybody would want in a video game. Other than the
Pancor jackhammer.
The jackhammer, yeah.
The Pancor jackhammer. Yeah. Yep. That's why I got all the information for that 12 gauge printed one, because it looks like a freaking Pancor jackhammer. So Kingpin says he's going to build a belt-fed 12 gauge 3-inch revolver with a full auto switch. He just needs to know who's going to pay him and teach him how to do it. I have a buddy who made his own Echo trigger, and it works great. It is full legal.
Those Echo triggers are super easy to make. I forget what all you have to do, but all you need is a 3-round burst fire control group. There's one little part you file off, and it works as a Echo trigger.
He actually machined all the parts himself.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah, he's got those skills. Most of us don't, but yeah. I was like, great, you made your own binary trigger during an ammo shortage.
Good job.
Yeah, I went shooting the other day. I probably shot 15 rounds. Didn't want to spend more than that.
I made a shotgun video the other day and spent probably 75 rounds making the video. It was mostly because it was fun, though. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have an Echo trigger. I can't say Mel doesn't like his Echo trigger. Mel, why don't you like your Echo trigger? I don't own one, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't have one either. I'd love to have one.
I forget which brand it is. There's one particular brand that you can't outrun, but most of them, if you just pull the trigger fast enough, you can outrun the bolt, and that really kills it for me.
I can outrun my Fostech, and I can barely outrun my Vepr, and I can not outrun my old MK 1919.
For those wondering who's in here, it's Nighthawk Medic, and who are you, other person? Introduce yourself.
I'm a person.
Do I need to out you?
Did I, Meg?
Okay, there we go.
Really?
Really. So, all right. So that's who we got in here right now. If anybody else wants to jump in, the link is pinned on the live chat. So
nice. New York is a star tonight. He did everything on his honey-do list. Bam! Bam, bam.
Yeah. Gabriel saying Echo can't be outrun.
Well, that's true. You can't outrun an Echo trigger.
Yeah. Did anybody catch G-Web's stream this afternoon?
I only caught part of it. The wife drugged me to the gym, talking about internet safety.
Not just internet safety. It's just just talking about technology in general.
So, from what I heard, it was I should not give my phone number to men online, and it's potentially deadly to let Google know where I live. And that's about all I heard before I had to jump out.
That's only part of it.
Like I said, I didn't get enough of it. So.
Yeah, no. But I've been saying this for a while, since everybody's been getting censored or deplatformed in some capacity. But if you have any project that you work on that is seen as conservative, or it's just seen as part of the Second Amendment, or anything that isn't part of the incoming ruling party's ideals, or ideas, you're gonna get silenced if you don't diversify your online presence.
I have a question,
Yes.
and maybe you can educate me because I lack education here.
Okay.
So, in 1994, we did an assault rifle ban, and nobody really gave a crap about it because nobody really had any of those weapons, nor were they interested in them. Well, during the course of that ban, people became interested in them. And of course, we got a bunch of cheap AR-15s after that, right? You could get an AR-15 for $300. And they imported AKs by the oodles and gobs. And all the AKs I bought right before the ban went up in price by 100-fold, by 10-fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2013, they went to do the same thing, and we called them on their BS. And they backed down and they didn't do it. So most of the people that are currently in our government have been serving during each of those periods of time. They were active in 94 and they were active in 2013. So do we believe they've suddenly forgotten about that? And they don't understand that there'll be a giant backlash from a nation that just went out and bought 24 million new firearms?
But you're ignoring one key point.
I'm not trying to ignore anything.
No, well, you are kind of being a little ignorant on one fact. You're acting as if these politicians care.
Okay, so in order for a politician to not care, it means that they're not concerned that this will affect their reelection.
They are not concerned in the slightest anything that they want to do or they've been hoo-hawing about doing that may negatively impact them. They don't care. They think they're doing the right thing, and the only thing that's going to stop them is I guess insert deity or devil here, because apparently they don't believe in God. So
time out. When did they develop this newfound confidence? Because remember, so in my hometown, it was about 50-50 Democrats and conservatives, right? Or leftists and conservatives buying guns. So where is this newfound confidence coming from that they suddenly do not feel they should believe the way they used to believe?
Where's this newfound confidence? It's called the certification that they had on January 6th. That's the newfound confidence. I struggle with it. I really struggle to believe that they are going to magically stop behaving the way they've behaved and being motivated by the things that have motivated them for the last 60 years overnight. So if they really believe that they can suddenly completely destroy the country, tear the Constitution apart and not face any penalty for it, and they're completely immune to all forms of attack, but they were so terrified of us in D.C. that they deployed half the National Guard up there as a show of force. Mm-hmm. I struggle, you know what I mean, to understand. I understand. But this is my belief, and granted, it's my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, obviously. But, it's the fact that they believe the fact that they got reelected and that they won over the party that was in charge, that has emboldened them to think that they could just put in any policy they want, and they're not going to get any backlash. And even if they do get backlash, they don't care. They think they're doing the right thing. Okay, even if they're even if they are actively burning the country down with their own two hands, they think they're doing the right thing. Does anybody feel like it's blind ignorance? In the chat, does anybody feel like we in the panel sound like the crazy ones? Do we sound like we're the crazy ones when we say politicians are going to suddenly start acting differently than they've ever acted before? I want feedback from the panel. Do we honestly all believe that magically
everything about how politicians behave is going to change this year.
I also want to mention, you said all that, but remember how they got the majority in Virginia, and they had that huge rally in Virginia. Yet they waited a few months and then went and put that stuff through anyways.
30,000 people out of 3.9 million people is not a huge rally.
Well, from the pictures, it looked pretty big for Virginia.
Absolutely, and most of those people weren't even in Virginia. Most people in Virginia went and hid in their Second Amendment sanctuary cities and did not go participate in that. So, of course, he went out there and wiped his balls with everything that was accomplished there.
So that just, even if we go and actively protest, I mean, even now in the future, actively protest against anything that might do, they're just going to ignore us and continue doing what they're doing.
Okay, so we're at the apocalypse. According to that theory, we're at the apocalypse. The United States is going to die in the next 4 years at the hands of politicians who no longer have any level of accountability for anything they do. Well, is that where we're at? Is that our belief?
That's kind of what I believe. Okay. Not necessarily that America is going to crash and burn, but I believe those politicians don't give two shits about the people whatsoever.
Well, that's always been the case. I think we can probably agree.
But I think they could give two shits about doing the right thing, as far as lawmaking.
No, they've never cared about any of that. All they've ever been interested in was being reelected, which is why in 2013, when they tried this last time, they ended up backing down because they realized that they're going to get their butts smoked.
I don't think they care if they're going to get reelected or not. They're going to. I think this is after everything that's gone on these past couple months and this last year. I think they're in all or nothing mode.
So, we don't believe that the Republican and the Democratic Party were just trying to get rid of an outsider when they did what they did to vacate Trump. You believe that suddenly politicians are genuinely going for the end of the United States and complete totalitarian control.
Not totalitarian, authoritarian.
Yes, you're right. Authoritarian control. We believe that that's the process.
That's the end goal when you only have one party in majority.
No, 7 times in our country's history, there's been one party in control.
With the left, it's authoritarian.
Okay, so
because remember, when the right is in charge, they always say it's totalitarian or it's fascist or it's fascist. But when the Democrats and the socialists are in charge, it's authoritarian.
Okay, so
because of the policies they want to put in place.
So we are now at the oblivion. This is the apocalypse. So we're afraid to talk about anything because we're going to be overrun and shut down and silenced.
Or censored.
Or censored. 74 million of us are going to be completely overwhelmed by whatever force they send to dominate us and devastate us and silence us. And it is the end of the world as we know it, and the only people that will be left to show cause after all of this is done are people who don't want to go to work and refuse to go to work and are a part of the welfare system. That's all that's going to be left. That's essentially where we would have to be, right?
I honestly don't. Well, first, in order to do a welfare system, first they have to balance the budget, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Do you?
That's right, and they can't afford to pay for anything unless we go to work. So we keep going back to this place in our minds where they are going to exert some level of control over. Well, and so New York out here says they go for whatever gives them the most money or control, right? I believe that we could end up being a plutocracy in the next 10, 15, 20 years, but I don't believe we could end up being a socialistic state because in order to achieve full socialism, and I'm not talking about Norway-style socialism, I'm talking about the style of socialism that everybody seems to be afraid of here, is that they're going to have to accomplish that level of socialism by pushing gun control.
Well,
and the only way to use gun control and an executive order in the same sentence is to attach it to a health crisis, because you cannot have gun control. You cannot make a not obeying an executive order illegal unless it's attached to a health crisis. And since the NRA has permanently beat that through the floor,
I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
It's not. It wouldn't be a plutocracy.
Okay.
The way they're going and the laws they want to put in place, it's probably going to be an autocracy, instead of plutocracy.
I believe plutocracy is as close as they're going to get. But
that may be true, but it'll probably be more in line of autocracy because look at what they're doing. They're trying to assert total control. Okay, they're trying to control everything, and that goes in line with autocracy and having supreme power.
But who goes into the role of God King?
I mean, answer that?
I mean, really, who goes into the role of God King? Scott 79. It is currently not possible in the United States to connect guns to a health crisis. That has been fixed in court.
Kamala Harris becomes the king. Who else?
Kamala Harris becomes king.
Kingpin says this reminds me of Bill Murray's "End of the World" speech. So okay, let's go. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
But that's what we seem to be pushing ourselves towards. And I see varied levels of absolute panic that completely disregard any level of common sense right now. And I want to encourage people to take a step back and take a deep breath. So if we are genuinely at the end of the world, okay,
if this is yet.
Genuinely the end of the United States, we should all be marching on Zion. Okay, this is only conversation we should ever have is about marching on Zion. But we're not there. We're actually nowhere near there. And so we still have so much more we can do, and especially more than bring each other down. You know what I mean? There's a lot that can be done.
Yeah, but it's just. I'm not saying that we're at that point where it's mass hysteria, but I'm just saying that the way the market is right now with guns, we are at a precipice.
So everybody's buying guns right now.
Everyone's buying stuff left and right.
Right? Everybody's buying guns. So the nice part about an armed society is what?
Polite society.
Why?
Because everybody's packing.
No, it's an armed society is polite society because if you have to pay for your misdeeds with your life, people watch their tongues, right? So if we're all going to move towards the Wild West again, which seems to be the direction of travel, right? If we believe that somehow this administration is going to begin to level gun control on us at a level that has never been imagined, pictured, or even in a level that can be, conducted under a normal process in the history of mankind in this country, then why would we bother?
Okay, apparently Defense Dad's not getting the Zion reference.
Okay.
Apparently he doesn't prescribe to that level of biblical.
Right.
It's actually originally from the Bible, Defense Dad. Just look it up.
But anyway, I'm just, like I said, this is my mind trying to work out why we have gone from Donald Trump is going to be our president no matter what happens in a normal election process to it is now the end of the world because he is not our president. And oh, by the way, all political parties are now suddenly going to stop doing what they normally do on any given year. So the Democrats have a tendency to run by fear and taxes. and the Republicans like to pretend to be conservative and to increase taxes while saying that they don't. And so why would they not drop right back into those normal roles now that the guy that they were all annoyed at is out of the way?
Defense Stat says nobody here is buying guns. Move along, NSA. Uh-oh, Sun Snob is out there. 7-1.
Yay!
Well, here's the problem that I'm very, very worried about. Okay, remember back to the Texas lawsuit last year.
Mm-hmm. They had no standing in it to execute that lawsuit. That is correct.
Yeah. Well, that there's also a caveat, because the Supreme Court did what it did. It means that there is precedence for states to actively, knowingly, and willingly ignore the Constitution.
Well, so there's always been that case, right? So let's say I'm a state and I decide I want to do something illegal, and in that state, I do something that is illegal per a national law or per a constitutional law. Okay? I commit a constitutional crime or a crime against the Constitution, and I need to be prosecuted for that. Well, in that instance, there may be a position where another state can hold me accountable. However, as none of the states involved has there been produced any evidence that any court is willing to take up, whether you believe that's actually the case or not. By definition, Texas did not have any foundation for pressing the law. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. So it has to do with the sovereignty of each of our states. So right now, most of us live in a state that if that state were to say, New York City's gun laws are a violation of the Second Amendment of the Constitution, and have the Supreme Court prosecute that, Tennessee, that state would no longer, New York, no longer be able to continue to apply its own laws to its people based on its belief systems. Right? Because by the very definition that you've just spoken, in theory, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, whoever else should be able to go to the Supreme Court and say, hey, New York City is in violation of the Constitution, therefore all of their leadership needs to be thrown out, and everybody's gun rights should be restored. Now,
I agree with that.
I wouldn't cry, but there is no foundation for them to prosecute that. And remember that the Supreme Court is only looking at the constitutionality of specific lawsuits, which includes the state's ability to govern itself to some extent.
Yeah. So apparently Scott 79 picked up a Riley Defense AK-74 today.
Heck yeah, that's totally worth it.
Yeah, I saw what he paid for it because he said he got it off CDNN. So that's nice. But yeah, remember we kind of tiptoe a little bit around the subject because we can't directly call it out. But
of course, no,
we're playing within the rules, unfortunately, right now.
Me always, right? So, but yeah, and so Gabriel just pointed out that that's an incorporation debate, and that's exactly where it is, and that's why the Supreme Court didn't take the case. So everybody that's really super mad at them right now, by the way, that case works in reverse. So New York City has proven in their state's courts that their gun laws do not violate the constitutional rights of the people that live within their state. So they could reverse prosecute that too, which means they could say Georgia should not have gun rights because we believe, or Georgia should have the same gun laws we do because we believe that that's within the limit of the Constitution. And what more, they're putting undue stress on our local place because criminals are getting weapons from them. So that's where, like, the bump stock debate.
Hold on. So you're telling me that New York criminals are driving all the way down to Georgia to get guns so they could drive all the way back up to New York to use them.
That's literally why they raided, the Polymer 80 groups, right? A New York law firm and a DC law firm applied a case to the ATF stating that most of the weapons they were picking up that were not registered in their states were polymer weapons, were, self-made 80% weapons.
And they never told any mistruths, right?
Right, and that's why that's what the ATF used as the basis to conduct the raid on the Polymer 80 headquarters.
Which I think they probably they probably lied in that case too.
More than likely, but I mean, again, we're the semantics of it and the nightmare that was all the details of this last election and everything else. People are forgetting that this is kind of how our legal system works.
It's sad.
So let's see. New York says he makes all kinds of money driving things. Oh no, people make all kinds of money driving things, all kinds of things from the city, legal and not so legal. I'm sure that's the case, Outcast. I'm certain. It took me a week of research to legally travel to New York City with proper self-defense equipment with me so that I did not violate any laws.
I just won't go to New York. Problem solved.
I was marching in the Veterans Day Parade. I wasn't going to miss that.
Well, that's your problem.
Right. It was fun. We stayed in one of the Trump hotels.
I mean, I've got family up in New York that I'll never visit just because of the factor that, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to New York.
Yeah.
Same problem with California too.
Yep. I've got family in New York too. I've got a brother who lives and works up there. He lives in Midtown Manhattan. He's good people.
No, I literally have a cousin that looks exactly like me in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
So Scott says, well, that's at least an argument they're using in Chicago to blame Indiana.
But that's only when I'm shaved. When I'm shaving.
Only when you're shaved?
Only when I'm shaving. Yeah.
Shave your nethers and then you look like your brother? That sounds a little weird, dude.
No, the face.
Oh, the face.
Get your mind out of the gutter, right? I know it's hard being a former military man yourself.
But, it's hard out here for a pimp. Okay. Yeah, so Scott, you're right. I don't know how many times I've heard people from Chicago say that guns come in from Indiana, and I'm sure they do. I'm certain there is illegal trafficking of firearms.
And they're not stealing any of them off of the trains that go into Chicago.
Never.
Yeah, that's right.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and those guns, they were never sold to a police buyback.
Of course not.
No.
And then recycled.
And none of those guns being used to hurt anyone in Chicago were ever stolen by law enforcement either.
Yeah, well.
Stolen from law enforcement.
I was going to say from sounds more.
I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Well, the Glock parody, right?
Right.
It actually came out of Chicago. So you know what the Glock parody is, right?
Remind me.
It can get real hard to determine what Glock was used to kill somebody with. And it has to do with their barrel system. So, and you get a lot of modifications to Glock and how Glock's barrels start to work out of that. They do an update to Glock's barrels here recently.
So,
well, like I said, I'm just curious why we suddenly believe that all politicians are suddenly different and all policies and the entire judicial system has suddenly changed.
It's not that all politicians are suddenly different. It's that one side has gotten super emboldened lately. And it doesn't look, and what they want to do when they've been cawing and and crying what they want to do to fix the country Again, at the law abiding expense.
Well, stop paying for it. Let's see. Scott says, did anybody hear about the Hummer that got stolen from D.C. from the National Guard? That does not surprise me. New York Outcast says he's done some things to get free trips in the city, driving and showing people around. It was always fun in his teen years.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
That would be fun in New York. I just hate to drive.
Wait, you can drive in New York? I thought it was always bumper to bumper.
The last 3 times I've been there, the first time I took a car and I never did it after that. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, because, you can't get anywhere in a car in New York, at least in the city.
Not very fast. So Kingpin says the National Guard Hummer was stolen from California. Okay, hang on. Let's go find some information on this.
Oh, boy.
Police arrest 2 suspects in the Humvee theft from an auto repair shop. That's an old one. Clinton man arrested with the stolen Humvee. That was in 2011. But by the way, this is...
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So far, there's no mention of it anywhere that I can find.
Yeah.
They evacuated again today because a bum set his house on fire by accident.
Next, they're gonna say we can't have matches in the cities anymore.
Never Enough Ammo actually covered it today on his thing. Yeah, it was dumpster fire. Someone actually set a dumpster on fire.
Oh, that seems appropriate. New York says you can get around if you drive like a New Yorker. From what I can tell, having ridden around in taxi cabs, that means turn your brain off and hit the accelerator pedal. See the news where Trump admin stopped more imports from China.
Is driving like a New Yorker kind of like walking like an Egyptian?
No, they're actually mad skills. So Trump administration is halting the imports of cotton tomatoes from the specific region in China where they like to keep Muslims enslaved. That's actually very intuitive of him. But how do you tell whether or not the imports of cotton and tomatoes came from that specific region? Did they just halt them all, or just those?
Lord,
they just add one little piece of the label to it in Taiwan, say it's made in Taiwan. So it kind of just bypasses that.
Yeah. We know that they're using the Muslim groups up there as slaves, and apparently they got rid of quite a few of them during COVID.
Well, did you see the re-education centers they have from Muslims up there?
Yes.
I saw that in the news, and I know it's bad, but all I had to, but I laughed when I saw that because it's just so ridiculous. They had to teach them how to properly be, a People's Republic of China person. That's what those education centers were for.
Oh, man.
But that was ridiculous. Hilarious, but ridiculous. And, people shouldn't have to... people should be allowed to practice whatever religion they want. But again, remember, different country, different laws. Our views are different than those of the views of those in charge of other countries.
Right, of course.
So,
Yeah, that seems to always be the way to do it.
Have you guys heard anything about the gun ban Trudeau in Canada was trying to do? Have they actually passed any of that yet?
Yeah, they did.
I really thought that was stupid because the guns were obviously stolen from a police cruiser.
Yes, it was. The issue in Canada, apparently they've got more gun laws than we do. I know that sounds wrong, but apparently they do. And unfortunately, that ban that Trudeau wanted to put in place, the point, the issue is, he just did it without asking for their parliament's permission. He just went and did it blanket statement wise, and apparently no one's called him out on it.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Basically, anything that we could have that they could have, now they can't have it anymore. Like, they wouldn't be. They were able to get some American AR-15s up there. They were able to get even some of the Norinco AR-15s. Now they can't have any AR-15s. Period.
Yeah, it sucks. It just has a lot of parallels, like the 1934 NFA when they passed all that. All those, like St. Valentine's Day Massacre and all those things that happened. Those weren't with legally bought guns. The Tommy gun that the gangsters used were stolen.
Those weren't legally bought. Those were used by criminals, active and known criminals. But hey, let's go and punish the people instead of the actual criminal that did the crime. That's the politician's mindset. Let's dick over the populace instead of, I don't know, hold the people that killed the people accountable.
Not only used by known criminals, by known criminals against known criminals.
Yeah. So basically, politicians, haven't changed since 1934.
Those Tommy guns, they stole them from the police, and that Browning automatic rifle that they used, that was stolen from the National Guard Armory.
Yeah.
So did you find that article? I'm still looking for it.
Which one?
The theft of the... Sorry, my wife was talking to me. I heard National Guard Armory, something was stolen.
Actually, apparently Donald Trump just kicked the ATF in the nuts.
Oh, what did he do? Because he's about to leave, and the only thing he could possibly do is an executive order, which can immediately be reversed.
Yeah, well, executive order on ensuring democratic accountability in agency rulemaking.
Doesn't do any good. Executive orders are not law. It can be instantly reversed, right?
Yeah, but again, apparently it's yeah. If you want to read it, I can post it in the side chat, but it's not doing any good.
I hate that
back.
We have presidents who try to rule by executive order rather than trying to get laws passed. You know what I mean?
But the problem is, they had the ability to get laws passed. They decided to sit on their asses and do nothing, and then the Democrats got in charge and were able to, I hate to say this way, but dick over the entire system.
Donald Trump didn't learn how to work with his compadres or even work with the enemy, right? And so at the end of the day, as much as I like him as a human being, he sucked as a leader, especially his last 2 years, because he didn't accomplish anything because he couldn't figure out how to work with people. And that's not very good leadership. That's a sign of a weak leader, actually. Now, you might argue that the system is completely broken and it's the oblivion, and there's no way anybody who's not in the fellowship is capable of ruling, right? But what I'd tell you over and over and over and over again is that if Donald Trump had worked with anybody and cooperated with anybody, he probably would have gotten a lot further and maybe even put in some laws to do what we're talking about. But as it is, Obama, Biden, Trump, all these people are just building temporary empires where they get their way for 4 or 8 years and then it's all wiped by the next presidency. No process is being conducted.
I can understand him not wanting to work with anyone, though, because the immediate onslaught that he got when he was elected in, would taken an extremely strong person to not just lash back at everybody.
Well, Donald Trump was a hitter, right? We hired him because of that. It was fun to watch Donald Trump beat the hell out of Hillary Clinton, right? Factually speaking, we got mad at him when he did the same thing to Biden, right? Everybody got on his case when the guy who we'd hired to push around the left started pushing around the left, suddenly did that to little old Grandpa Biden, right? So we're as much to blame for Trump's failures because we brought him in telling him we wanted to go swinging.
Well, I didn't get mad. I thought that would get him elected, and unfortunately it didn't. So,
yep. Catch more flies with honey.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. The way things went, I don't think it was attainable for him, anyways. No matter what he did.
Well, both the Republicans and the Democrats wanted to get rid of him.
Sadly. So. Apparently Kingpin says the New York Post has the Humvee story. Yeah, the New York Post is up.
New York Post has it? Okay, cool.
And I'm not paying the New York Post diddly. So.
Yeah, I don't want to pay them anything either. But thanks for telling us where the story was, man. Thanks, Kingpin. I wonder if that shows up somewhere later. Every time something weird happens with a vehicle these days, I start to get a feeling in my gut.
You guys think we'll ever get to buy brand new Norinkos?
Well, if we're all allying up with China, why not?
No, because the we'd have to be able to own firearms at that point.
That's true. Now, okay, so it was stolen in Los Angeles, not in DC. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an up-armored Humvee. They don't move very fast, and they sound like a diesel truck coming up the road, so it won't be hard to. Oh, look, there's a up-armored Humvee over there.
I want one.
I didn't think anybody in LA had the cojones to do something like that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Maybe they aren't Los Angeles. Maybe they're people from out of that area.
Well, obviously they'd have to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I'm looking at the post on Reddit, and this one is titled "The Horror." I almost had a stroke seeing this. Harassed 47 for $1,500. Somebody's optimistic. I don't care if you got a drum mag or not.
Well, does it come with a bunch of ammo? I mean, if it came with a bunch of ammo, that might be doable.
I mean, if those mags are loaded, that might be worth it.
So let's go to armslist.com. Yeah, hang on. Can we if it's still on Arms List.
Isn't it illegal to sell someone an RAS?
It should be. Just like it should be illegal for someone to sell someone an IO Inc.
So I would like to point out that the cheapest RAS I find when going directly to Arms List is $975. The average cost of one is $1,000 right now.
And it's not worth that. It is definitely not worth that.
Here's a Century Arms RAS, Century Arms RAS for $2,000.
Oh, and I just found that listing I just showed you just a second ago. I just found it. You know where that listing is?
Where? Your town?
Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, good Lord. I don't see that one.
Here. I'll Well, I don't want to. I don't want to. But yeah, they won $1,500 for their ass. Oh boy! Oh, I had a good laugh there.
Oh, I found it. $1,500. There it is.
Yeah.
Does it come with ammunition? Oh, wait. Okay. So hang on. It also has 100 rounds of ammo with it. So hang on. So now we're saying, so the average cost of one of these rifles online right now in arms list is $975, right?
All right.
He's got a total of 3 magazines or 4 magazines and a drum. The drum's probably $100. Okay, so that puts us at about 75, whatever else.
He's got two 30-round magazines. He's got 2 40s. You can tell right there.
Are those 4? Yeah, those are 40s. Okay, so one came with the gun, and he's got another 30-rounder, so that was another $14, and then 2 40s are probably $30 a piece. The drum is another 100, so that puts us at about 1,200 right there, and then the ammunition.
Which, if he's got Tula or Wolf, it's probably the market price is the reasonable market price is like $40, but depending on depending on where he got it, he might have paid much more than that.
Did you guys see what MK Joe posted in the chat about the Virginia man stopped in DC?
No, the guy who was found with 500 rounds of ammunition.
Oh, and a unregistered Glock.
He was private security, and when they said he had something wrong identification, it wasn't a fake ID. It was just an ID that wouldn't let him in there. They tried to make it sound like someone was,
of course,
trying to do something fishy, but that's how media is. They blow everything out of proportion.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not selling my AK. I like my AK.
Man, I wish I had an AK. I've shot my uncles a few times. It was fun.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. You can answer or not answer. It's fine. What state do you live in?
Ohio?
Ohio?
Yeah.
Hey, you can have an AK in Ohio.
I'm saying I wish I had one. Like, I can't afford one right now.
No one can afford. Well, that's not true. I mean, look, I'm looking here on Arms List, and apparently someone's selling one of their AKs for $500. So, if you look, you can still find affordable AKs. It just depends on your area.
Yeah. I should really probably get out of a couple of my Mac 90s, but I don't know if I really want to.
I would save them. I would save them until things go really tits up.
I don't have enough guns to sell any right now anyway.
Let's see what they're valued at right now. I've got one that's full 922R and 2 that are in original condition.
Hey, what's the largest city you're near, Meg?
Akron.
Akron? All right. Let's see. Okay.
Has anybody ever used Live Auctioneers before?
No. Yeah, apparently there's nothing in your area.
There's no economy here at all.
Okay, what's the second biggest city near you?
Cleveland.
Ooh, that's rough, buddy. That's rough. We've all seen Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. He got messed up in Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Wow, they really won a lot in Cleveland. Yeah, all the AKs in Cleveland are at least the $900 to $1,000.
Yeah, I'm not going to be looking for an AK too soon. I'm saving all my money while I'm in college right now. So,
do you have any rifles whatsoever, like an AR or something?
I have, an AR and a 22. That's it.
Well, at this point, I'm going to say this, and people are going to scoff when I'm going to say this. If you don't have the 22 conversion kit for your AR, you probably should go and get one, because that's about the only way you're going to be able to use your AR right now. Considering the price.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
The price of it's just because you're probably going to be able to. You can still afford the price of 22, but the price of 5.56 or 2.23.
22 prices even suck right now, but at least it's affordable.
It's still affordable compared to trying to get 5.56 or 2.23. And I'm saying this in the capacity of how you can still shoot your AR and enjoy it. Okay, and that's that's why I'd say if you don't have a 22 LR conversion kit for your AR-15, you might want to invest in one. And that's only going to cost, depending on where you get it, that's only going to cost you between $175 to like $200.
I should definitely look into that. Oh, I forgot.
Because the kit will have the bolt. It'll have the bolt, and it'll come with, depending on which kit you get. It'll come with between 1 and 4 mags, depending on which kit you get. Okay, and at that point, you know what? That's a pretty good deal. You can still use your normal charging handle, so. All you're doing is just taking the 5.56 bolt out, putting the 222 bolt in. You're done. You don't even have to replace the barrel.
Yeah, I have those two,
though I am going to recommend if you're going to shoot 22 through that barrel, you might want to get the copper plated 22 to shoot through it, just so you don't have any problems with the lead fouling.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have the Marlin 60. I shoot with like the Remington Thunderbolt. That thing gets nasty.
Yeah.
I do have Thompson Center Renegade too. I love that thing.
Kingpin says at Night Strike, the guy took the wrong exit. That is all that happened. Good job, MSM. All right, we got another comment out there from Gun Loving Grandpa. It's like, at Night Strike, when shit hits the fan and you had to leave your house, what gun would you and the panel take? You don't have room for all of your guns. You know what? I'm gonna make a joke here, because I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna take the 1911, and I'm gonna take the I'm gonna take the M1 Garand. The 1911 because 2 world wars, Korea, Vietnam, and some parts of Desert Storm. And the M1 Garand because World War II, Korea, and some parts of Vietnam. I'm saying this jokingly, obviously, but you know what? These kind of situations are just jokes in themselves. So why not have fun with it?
I'm going to take an AR-15 and a 12 gauge shotgun.
All right. Well, he said it's a rifle and a pistol.
Oh, a rifle and a pistol, an AR-15 and a 40 caliber Glock.
Yeah.
I would probably take either, depends on what's going on. If something that requires bigger caliber, my AR. If not, I'm going to take my 22 because it's tube fed. And I have a quiver full of speed loaders for it. I can carry thousands of rounds for that thing and not even sweat.
Hey, that's what you want to do. That's what you're going to do. I mean, whatever if that's all you've got, then that's all you've got. You got to take it. Now, if you're telling me to be more serious, okay. Honestly, if I have to be more serious, I'm probably going to take the P320 or the 229, and probably the 308. My C308. That's probably what I'll take with me. If you want me to be more serious. No, and
no handgun because I.
If you're worried about, but Night Strike 357 SIG might be hard to find. Well, that's why I've got 40 barrels.
Yeah, we ought to be able to find a bunch of 40.
Exactly.
Into the world. Mario!
Hey!
Hey!
We're not talking about cheese.
Oh, I just had some cheese.
Okay, so if shit hits the fan and you can only take 2 guns out of your entire collection, a rifle and a handgun, which 2 guns would you take?
Okay, I think a lot of you guys are going to probably disagree with me on this, but a rifle, I would take a Ruger 1022 with as much BX25s and CCI in my backpack.
Huh?
And I would probably take my CZ75 as my pistol.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Glass or no glass on the 1022?
No glass.
Then I have no questions.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You know what my joking response was?
What is your joking response?
My joking response was my M1 Garand and my 1911.
Well, I mean, honestly, somebody who's carried a lot of stuff on their back for so many years, the last thing I want is to be carrying a big old cumbersome rifle like that. But to each his own.
I have a 2.75 pound.
I understand that, but I bought the M1 Garand, and people say it's a heavy rifle, but I've slung it over my shoulder. I've carried it and I picked it up, and it honestly doesn't feel as heavy as people say it is.
That's
hump
cute.
it for a while.
Yeah, go 20 miles with that sucker. Believe me, that thing.
You'll want to drop it on the ground, and remember that your granddad weighed 130 pounds when he humped it across Europe.
Well, my grandfather wasn't able to go.
Oh, you know what I mean. Not your grandfather specifically, but
no, he had stomach ulcers, so he had
right.
they tried to draft him 8 times, and because he had stomach ulcers, they wouldn't take him, and he really wanted to go.
My grandfather carried one across Europe, and he was 152 pounds, 5'11".
Wow. So, God bless him.
So my grandfather, he ended up having to just weld things in factories during the war, primarily tank tracks and airplane wings.
Right.
Hey, as long as he participated in it, man, that's the most important thing.
That's what he did, because he was a welder. So he already had skills, so might as well use them. But that's the one thing he said, I really, really, really regret not being able to go to the war. And then his brother comes back from the war and says he didn't miss much. And I'm like, wow, okay.
That is always the difference in reality.
Well, not only that, but let's stop and think about it. The people have done something, they don't like talking about it. They don't even like to make it a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
So, if you're there, you're there.
Put this in perspective. My grandfather's eldest brother, my grandfather was the second youngest of 10 children, okay?
Mm-hmm.
His eldest brother served in World War I, went over there, fought in the trenches, when America went into the war, came back and continued to farm.
Yeah, that would be a great role after serving in trench warfare for 4 years.
That's a great man right there. God bless him.
That's a fabulous human.
Because he went and did his. Well, the thing is, my grandfather's family has always been very patriotic. They had I found records, and apparently his family had fought in every war since the founding of the country.
Wow.
Including the revolution.
Kind of like Lieutenant Dan's family.
Like Lieutenant Dan's family. So
I'm still trying to figure out how Lieutenant Dan came to being, given the number of people that died in such quick succession. So, Night Strike, I'm going to give you some perspective that might be helpful to you.
Okay, go for it.
How old are you right now?
I am 37.
Okay, so I'm in my mid-40s. I'm 6'1". I weigh 230 pounds. I put on about 75 pounds worth of gear every second weekend, and I hump it across the mountains of Tennessee for fun. It's about a 15-mile round trip total, 15 miles to the trip. And so at the end of that, even though I do it every 2 weeks, I still would much rather somebody throw me out of an airplane than to get in my car and drive home having done that. So think of where you are in your physical conditioning right now.
I am overweight.
And then imagine that whatever your body itself is probably going to exhaust you in a shit hit the fan scenario. Okay. Just your body weight itself is going to wear you out. And so you want to keep your gear. Mario's right on point. How light can my rifle be? How much ammunition can I carry? And ultimately, does it cover me in most scenarios?
Yeah.
And that's why I asked him the glass question, because if you're not using glass, you can sweep with it. You can do whatever you want to with it. It makes it more versatile.
Right. I understand the implications and the reasons why. But again, as I said, that was my joking response.
Right.
The 1911 and the M1 Garand. But if I had to take my rifles, I still would take the C308 just because the factor that it's not as heavy as the Garand, 1, and 2, it's in 308 instead of 22.
Yeah, but old soldiers, we all think alike, man.
No,
yeah.
I know, I understand.
Because we've been through it, man. We know what it's up, bro. But I'm not knocking your point of view. I'm not. But to me, I mean, seriously, guys, you really think about it. I know a lot of you guys are going to give me a hard time about it, but
we give you a hard time because it's you.
Yeah, it's true. But you can kill anything with a 22 rifle. You really can.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It may not be the right way, but it does it. You can kill anything with it. You can kill a deer with it if you really wanted to. You can kill a hog. Might take you a couple of them.
It'll take you a while to kill a bear, and that bear will be unhappy.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to fight a bear if I can help it.
No, I would no. I know where to fight my battles, bro. You know
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, if you put a can on it, you can kill all sorts of stuff with it before it even figures out there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The IDF used them as sniper rifles, didn't they?
Yep.
No, dude, the IDF uses them as crowd control.
Yeah, the man's not lying.
Yeah, then they try and use them for crowd control, and then they figured out, wait, 22 isn't a toy.
Well, they knew it wasn't a toy. The Israelis are not stupid.
No, the Israelis are very smart, bro. Trust
Yeah.
me, I can tell you because I train with them. They are very smart, and I love all their guns too. By the way.
Yep. Brazil has a 22 caliber sniper rifle. Let's see who else has one. That one is Traeger 22. I don't know. I think that's Belize. So there's a few militaries, and this is not 223. This is 22.
Go Shadow says at Night Strike. No, you can't. Brown bear, polar bear, gonna eat you before 22 will kill them. That's what I was getting at, Joe Shadow. That's what I'm getting at. 22 is great in some applications, but again, if you're up against a bear, you might as well run away because you're not going to be able to kill that bear.
Brown, you lay down. Black, you fight back.
Yeah.
It's of course, man. I mean, you know how to pick your battles, but I just like the versatility of that round and that rifle.
Yeah. And you can carry a ton of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jumpy just said, I think the 5.7 should replace the 22 mag.
Oh, I'm going to slap him.
Has a small varmint round.
The day 5.7 costs the same amount. I think 5.7 performs poorly at distance, more poorly at distance than the 22 does as far as wind effects. But I think that's probably just my experience. I only shoot 22 and 5.7 at a maximum of about 100 yards, and they seem to be equally accurate at that range if you understand the ballistics of each cartridge. And I think that in some ways the 22 actually performs in windy conditions better than the 5.7.
Yeah, if I would rather go with a 17 HMR than a 5.7.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 17 HMR is a beast.
Yeah, so there's.
Have you guys ever looked at the?
Go ahead.
You guys ever looked at the like on paper muzzle energy of 5.7? It's not that great. Like you can get Buffalo Bore 380 that's more powerful than a 5.7 though.
Well, at the compact size though, it's pretty monstrous for its size.
It is. Oh, if you don't like that one, go with the 22. What's that?
WMR.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
the TC. There was a TCMR or the one that.
Uh,
Oh
The
yeah,
one that
22 TCM from Rock
Yes.
Island.
TCM. Ooh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
They make a conversion kit for your Glock 17 that'll shoot
Do
that
they
stuff.
really? I'm totally game.
Leo, the link to the chat is pinned, in the live chat. If you want to jump in and go after them for it, go for it.
Yeah, come on, bring it on.
He says, "Oh yeah, leave the brown bear alone, but fight the black bear. You racist."
Come on in, my friend. That has been the saying in my area of the world for dealing with bears as long as I've been alive. I'd be glad to talk to you about the details of that.
For reference, it's Tennessee.
Yeah, seriously. Tennessee.
That's all on Nighthawk Medic, so it's not a Night Strike.
Yeah.
Fairly, sir, I learned that in Ohio, so hang on. Bear defense. I think that may have came out of Canada, as a matter of fact. Yes, it's instructions in Canada.
Oh,
Okay.
Canada.
Okay.
That's all I know.
That's all I know, too.
They make fine maple syrup, though. Gotta tell you that much.
That's all they make.
Yeah, this is literally in the wilderness area manual for a Canadian national park, what I've just explained to you. So, yeah, black bears have a propensity to attack and fight you even if you're laying still.
Yeah.
And a brown bear will, if you fake dead, it may walk away. They say if it continues to attack you for up to a minute and a half, though, then you should fight for your life. And of course, if you feed a bear, you're going to have to end up killing it later.
Mm-hmm. It's not Yogi. Not Yogi. Just saying.
It's not Yogi.
No picnic baskets.
No picnic baskets.
But the bears around here, you can hunt with 303 British.
Ooh, lovely.
Yep. They're only about 250 pounds.
I mean, seriously, I don't. Is there? I mean, is bear tasty at all?
No, it's well. Some people like it. It's
like
so
a tough meat, right?
Yeah, it's good for control. So we have bear attacks and things of that nature here if we don't push them north, and so the bear hunts usually don't harvest a lot of bears, but they push them up north, away from the cities. And so we consistently do those in this area.
Oh, so you push them north to Kentucky, let them deal with it, huh?
Yeah, there's nobody out in that area of Kentucky now.
You guys want to see have you guys ever seen those 22 long rifle speed loaders for tube fed guns?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them around here somewhere. I only have 122 long rifle bear magazine or tube fed. Is it the brass tube that you slide the little thing up and slides them into the... Is he showing us?
I don't know.
Mine's by a company called Speedy.
Remember, you can't show guns on live streams, unfortunately.
No, but he can show the loader.
So catchy.
I made mine out of packing tube. I just went to McMaster Car.
Oh man,
they sell tubes. They're the perfect size. I have enough tubes for thousands of rounds, and it only cost me like $20-some bucks, I think, for all the tubing and caps and stuff.
Nice.
What a bargain!
I think mine was like $20 or something like that. It's for a rifle that I don't even fire anymore. I should probably get rid of it.
Roleo says I would jump on, but currently making some coffee. I actually just got up not too long ago.
Well, good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, Mary Night Shift.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ghost Shadow says, at Night Strike, Alaska joke. Wear bells to keep safe from bears. It doesn't work for brown bears. How do you know brown bears are in the area? You will see poop with bells in it.
That wins the internet for the night.
That wins the internet. That does.
Yeah. So. You get a gold star with that one.
That's pretty good.
You know, I don't. I mean, I know brown bears are pretty, scary creatures, but a grizzly, man, like Those things are massive, bro.
I've never seen one in face to face, and I
I've never
don't ever
seen.
want to see one.
Yeah, I remember watching this video of this dude is in Alaska and he's by the side of the by the edge of a creek, and all of a sudden he's like sitting down watching something, like watching people like fish or whatever, and all of a sudden the damn grizzly sits down like, less than 50 feet from him on the left side, and
And
he's
starts
taking.
knocking fish out of the water.
Yeah, I'm like, he's like looking at him and he's just sitting down like, hey, what's up, man?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, no
Black bears
bueno.
jump in the water after fish. Brown
Mhm.
bears and grizzlies, they literally just smack the water and knock the fish out of the water onto the surface, or sometimes they'll get it in their claw.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, and they just eat the back strap. They just eat the fatty part of the back of them, and they dump the rest of the fish on the bank.
Yeah, that's why the eagles love all that stuff.
Yep.
They get all that other stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff, man.
We always, man. So the first time I ever saw an eagle, a friend of mine had a fishing boat, and he's like, "Dude, eagles are freaking seagulls." And
Yeah,
I
they're
was like,
annoying as
"What?"
hell.
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah, they're freaking seagulls." And sure enough, man, there were eagles everywhere, and they're freaking seagulls.
Yeah, and those you can't touch because that's a federal offense.
Right. Wasn't it not Thomas Jefferson, but Benjamin Franklin who wanted the turkey to be it now makes sense for the turkey to be our national bird, right? You should still be able to eat them, and it's the national bird.
Well, they were thinking about making turkey the national bird back in the day. I'm like, oh, no, you didn't.
Yep. Let's see.
Oh,
Ghost Shadow.
While it's probably not preferred, but you can probably eat any bird.
I've eaten crow before.
I'll take your word for that.
You've eaten natural crow? Yeah, I know people do that.
Yep, my grandfather used to tell me stories of them eating crow when he was a kid, and so I killed one day and ate it. It wasn't bad. Yeah. It wasn't great either.
Yeah. My grandfather used to tell me stories about a crow that he and his brother raised from an egg. They called him Jim Crow. I'm not kidding. His name, the crow's name was Jim Crow.
That's not very cool.
My grandfather was from West Virginia. You do that.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I'm from the South.
So, but the fact that my grandfather did that I had a good laugh on that, and he's like, "See, it's funny." And I go, "Yes, it's funny, but it was wrong, but it was funny." So it's just
that's hateful.
Family, right?
Yep.
That's how family is.
Big. That's funny.
Oh, now Ghost Shadow is going out posting pictures of bears, on my Discord. Great.
Ah.
So if anyone wants to go see that, go to the Discord. I'm not going to share that right now.
Is he bears that he's captured? Oh, he's talking about the bears on his front porch and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't talk about. It's like at Night Strike. You shouldn't talk about shooting bears. YouTube will ban you for making threatening comments. Well, we're not talking about the bears. We're talking about actual wild bears.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Yes, not Yogi either.
Leo, not remotely what you think we said.
What?
He said, Jim Crow, what did I drop into tonight? It was a joke, Leo. Get over it.
Leo, it's all Night Strike. Please send all of your comments to shootingleftofcenter at gmail.com.
Yes. Send all your comments, your comments and your complaints to shootingleftofcenter at gmail.com.
No, it should be complaints at Shooting Left of Center. That would be a lot better. More direct that way.
No, see, the email address you just gave them is an actual email address, as the one you just gave them is not an actual email address.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help you, man. Just saying. I'm just trying to get.
I want their email to actually go to him to have him give them a piece of his mind, because better they bother him than me.
Well, I think that from the standpoint of where we are as a country and things of that nature, we should be open to conversation about those type things as much as possible.
I mean,
I'm not on his Discord either, Red.
I'm sure I gave you an invite to my Discord.
Why does Red not have an invite to your Discord either?
Oh my god, you guys are killing me here.
You're in my Discord.
Well, yeah. What do I need? You know what? I'm just gonna post it up there in live chat.
There you go.
There you go.
Or send your complaints to Winter Egg. Gizzard
to winner chicken dinner. I GizzardGary.com.
Poor Gizzard. He's like, why am I getting all this complaint?
What is this spam?
Yeah. So there's my Discord.
Poor Gizzard, man. I love messing with that guy.
He's good people.
He is.
Poor
man.
Gary.
Yeah. Good stuff, though.
So Nighthawk's complaining he didn't get an invite. There you go.
Oh, look at that black bear on your back porch eating something. And a moose. Dude, Shadow, you have the single best collection of wildlife in your backyard.
All from when he used to live in Alaska, but he dumped all that living in Alaska so he could live in Washington and be oppressed.
By the way, like 12 people just joined your Discord. I'd like to point out that you've totally been snubbing other people.
I have not been snubbing anybody whatsoever. It's just I really don't put any thought or any effort into Discord. So, yeah.
So, I don't have to be forced to put my Discord link out in chat.
No. I don't. I'm not really big into Discord. Okay, I don't like being at the behest of a corporation that can decide to delete your Discord at any time just because they don't like the contents of your Discord.
But you like YouTube?
I don't like YouTube either.
Oh, okay.
That's why I run GunTube.org, and that's also why I have other voice servers other than Discord, because I don't trust Discord.
Well, so far I've been banned from 3 forums and one other GunTube today for asking people to not post links to absolute insane third-party websites claiming things that are completely off basis and will eventually get people labeled as insane right-wing nut jobs.
Congratulations.
And I've been just banned, just flat-out banned. So
what were you doing, posting the National Rifle Association website or something?
No, people were posting crazy shit, and people were buying into it. And I was like, guys, can we root ourselves in common sense for a minute? And admins have just been tossing me left, right, and sideways. And so I'm like, bye. We'll see you later. Good luck.
So I wear my bands like a medal.
So do I.
So here's some news for those that don't know. Parler.com is back online, and they're working on getting the servers back up so everyone can continue using Parler.
Wasn't the last time they went down that somebody leaked all of everybody's information?
They say that, but let's be honest. If they leak your geolocation, okay, that's one thing. Do they have your passwords? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's probably true. Hopefully they don't.
I mean, honestly, if you're afraid of someone getting access to something you posted online, you know what I'm going to tell you?
Don't post things online. You're screwed. Everybody already has it.
Exactly. The government already has all your information in the first place. So if you're worried about your information getting to the government, I got another news for you. If you're a veteran, they've had your DNA sample since you joined, buddy.
No, they didn't have it when I joined. They didn't collect DNA samples until 5 years after I joined, something like that. That wasn't a thing until the war started.
Did they get your biometric data?
Yeah, remember they came around with the little DNA cards and took everybody's DNA?
Yeah, and then they did the biometric data on you,
Yeah.
and the way they made it look like is like, oh yeah, it's just so we can tell from friend from foe. I'm like, you serious, right? Like you expect me to believe that?
What a load of horseshit.
I know.
Wow, Meg, you're going overboard there, Meg.
Just saying,
Because
man.
what Travis T said. Travis T says common sense is a trigger term for extreme right. Imagine that. Deadeye Meg says stop saying common sense it's a left wing dog whistle.
Yeah, dude, you won't believe some of the vitriol. I had a guy challenge me to a fist fight because I asked him very nicely to stop posting things that said just absolute insanity. Just absolute insanity. Like basically making posts that said things like, tomorrow the government will be at your front door to kill you. And people just accepting it. People just like, oh, okay. Is it tomorrow that's happening? I mean, it was like, what the hell?
Can I get an RSVP? Just saying.
Right.
Can I bring the video camera just to prove that he's gonna lose?
Hey, it just, dude, I could not believe that there were.
No, dude, you should accept it so we can sell tickets, so we can get a proper venue, so that we can record this
the guy
and put this
coming
on
to
YouTube.
my house to get his butt kicked? No.
Yes.
So here's the problem with that, and
tell him just to meet you at this venue instead.
Why that sounds like fun and is also a tremendously bad idea. Let's say I fire him up, which is probably what's going to happen. And then the resulting lawsuit that comes from him because, oh, by the way, he didn't really think he was going to lose the fight, taps into my resources. And I have significant amounts of resources to lose. So I'm not about to fist fight Papa Joe.
Not only that, but you don't want a stalker. Trust me. Just take my word on it. You don't want a stalker.
Really? What was her name?
I didn't even get a name. It was some guy. He's like, oh, I'm too old for you. And I'm like, dude, leave me alone.
He was like, I'm too old for you. So you hit on him hoping to get dick, and then he said he was too old for you.
No, he opens up with, I'm too old for you, and then offers to take me out for a drink. It's like, no, I'm not even old enough. What's wrong with you?
Oh, so you were underage at the time.
God.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
that's
God.
horrible.
That's awful. You should have reported him to the police.
Yes, you should have.
Yeah, that's
reporting offense.
That's full on gross.
Yeah, man. That's no bueno.
Nope.
You know,
So what?
If somebody challenges you to a fight, you know what you should do, bro? You should be intimidating. You know how you should do that? Remember Napoleon Dynamite, homeboy, wore all those USA pants and the USA shirt with the bandana? Dude, how you gonna fight that, bro? How you gonna fight that?
Just take your pants off. No one wants to fight a naked guy.
Oh, that is the best video ever. That kid that strips off his clothes and the guy runs away. No, like I said, I'm all about a little bit of a scrap, but like I said, it always ends the same way in our modern world. The guy gets his butt beaten, he runs off and sues you, right? And so then you've got a lawsuit and a mess, and they're like, really, you don't know better than to challenge people to accept a challenge to a fist fight on the internet? And my lawyer chews my ass, and my wife chews my ass, and everybody else chews my ass, and that's where it ends.
Oh, snap.
That was such a great story.
Wasn't it?
It was.
Yes, it was awesome.
But anyway, that's been my discovery that people are losing their minds.
Okay.
Well, in Twitter, Facebook, mainstream social media outlets, when they start banning people, that's really what happens. They end up going off to these echo chambers and get stuck in their own world, you know?
Yeah, I believe it.
And I think, to be honest with you, Twitter canceling anybody who's got any type of conservative or view compared to what they consider good or bad, you're just creating another dark web.
Yeah.
You're creating another dark web again. You know.
Look at it this way. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys have followed Ron Paul, but he's a libertarian, Republican more or less, and he most of what Ron Paul says is really rather tame because it's Ron Paul. He's old. He's an older gentleman, and honestly, the fact that Twitter would go out of their way to suspend and ban his account, just because he's a libertarian, is ridiculous. And it proves that they're not just going after conservatives; they're going after anyone other than the viewpoint of, like, they haven't gone after the people who are inciting riots and violence from Antifa or BLM, but they're censoring the president, Ron Paul, and a bunch of other smaller people.
Okay, so let's play this game real quick. So, if we are all so wronged by these organizations, why do we continue to use them?
I don't have Twitter.
There you go. Next. Who else?
I deleted my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff years ago. I haven't used it since.
Non-factor for you. Next. I'm waiting.
Oh, what do you want?
So why is this an issue for you?
It's not an issue for me. It's just I don't like seeing it.
Okay, but we're playing in the realm of, do private companies get to decide what private companies get to do? So I'm all for this. I am all for the overwhelming support of private companies getting to do what private companies get to do. And oh, by the way, every lawsuit against bakeries that do not want to make cakes for certain types of people should immediately be reversed. Because we should be living in a world where private companies get to do what private companies want to do, as long as it doesn't violate any real law.
True, but at the same time, I don't believe that if they're going to pull this kind of situation on individuals, they should not be lawfully protected.
Protected from what?
That's what the whole Section 230 thing is all about. Basically, Twitter, Facebook, all of them, they make an agreement with our government to say, we are a platform, we are open, we are not a private publisher. So they get protections that an open forum would get from lawsuits against defamation, those sorts of things.
But they are an open forum.
It depends on what you want to define it as. Depends on how much you're publishing and all that stuff. If you're to the point where you're
moderating the message to where it's only a certain group's viewpoints that they allow for, then they're no longer a platform, they are a publisher.
Okay, so hang on. I want you to go to mymilitia.com right now, post there that you're a Democrat, and say that you're excited about Biden becoming president, and see how long you get to stay on that public forum.
Hold on, I'll go do that right now.
Right. So
obviously I'm not going to do that. Jesus.
Right, because what's going to happen to you?
You get banned.
That's right.
Well, but again, alternative to what you're saying, you're not going to get banned because you're a Democrat or because you're excited about the elections. You're going to get banned because you're being a troll.
No, that's not trolling. That's stating your political situation.
Depending on how an administrator would look at it, you're being a troll.
So would you say on a forum that is known as a liberal forum that your action by going around posting things that are against their belief systems could be considered trolling? And I'm going to shut up so Mario can talk now.
Yeah, look, this is, and I think this is where I think a lot of people come from. This is the way I think. This is the way a lot of people think, is that the way social media was created, it was created so that you can connect with friends, so that you can connect with like-minded people, and it didn't. And you had a voice. And then all of a sudden, little by little, they started changing that format, and it became a problem where you had all these fact checkers and all these people that want to restrict you on whatever you want to say. Yes, I understand it's a private company, but if you really look at the initial what I put a theory, or however they decided to create it, and how they were trying to get people to join. That's what people bought into it. That's why people decided to start having all these groups, and work, having like-minded people. Now, I understand the legal aspect of it. I understand that it's a private company, it can do whatever it wants to do. But why change your narrative as soon
From
as you
express
start?
yourself to moderate
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly.
Okay, still not illegal. Still protected under their rights as in a capitalist society. And so I just warn us about changing law and giving more power to a government that you're already afraid of having more power when it comes to this process. I would much rather see all conservatives give social media the finger and walk away and start their own social media, right?
Well, you think about it, that
Right, but
regardless,
if you look at what Amazon did, it's gonna be hard to start your own social media because you know they can just, if you sign up for an account and start a website, they can just yank your servers.
Well, so hang on. If you keep going back to the well, or you keep going back to the watering hole and you keep dying to a lion, you can't be surprised by it, right? So if we keep going back to the same source, so there's no difference between going to starting your own website and then using a website control or whatever else, a hosting service that is run by one of these organizations that are already trying to restrict us, than there is by using one of their already existing implements. So there are hosting services out there that aren't completely left wing. And by the way, if you if you
Yeah,
create demand,
I know I have one.
yeah, right. You can create demand on those hosting services and they become larger and they become more capable. So what it is seems to be is that it's inconvenient. And what more is that it reduces profit for conservative groups. And so they're not willing to do that because it's inconvenient and it potentially reduces profit. And so we've started a fight when in reality we would do twice as much damage by just walking away and saying, hey, pound sand, and watching their financial situation degrade to the point where they would either acquiesce with what we want them to do or they would go away.
The problem is Twitter's stock has gone down, but that doesn't seem to have stopped them.
Not yet. They haven't lost enough money yet.
That's my point. I mean, they haven't, they haven't lost enough yet for it to be any, for them to even bat an eye.
Well, the enemy doesn't surrender the first time you kill one enemy soldier. You have to put a little pressure on.
Well, no kidding. No kidding.
So we have a propensity sometimes to try the ballot box once or try the soapbox once and and get disappointed and walk away, right? So not every plan is perfect and not every plan results in immediate success. But if we were to begin to migrate consistently away from organizations like Facebook and like Twitter and all these places, we would begin doing consistent damage to them sufficiently for them to change their tune. They are only profit motivated or they are dead. That's very simple. So they either go back to their capitalistic ways or they die as a company.
Well, just one thing from just the perspective of someone that has grown up with social media around me all the time, I've noticed if you look at what's the smallest social media, like the smallest mainstream one right now is Twitter. And just from seeing it from start to finish, I think a lot of it is people don't like being around the whole left-wing cancel culture stuff. That's why Twitter is so small, because they're the biggest ones on it. So eventually people are just going to get tired, because even look at Facebook. They lost how many millions of dollars, billions of dollars when people got fed up with them.
I think everybody should be like MySpace and go away.
That would do it.
No,
Actually,
MySpace
that would do it real quick.
around, actually. But Tom's no longer your friend. I miss Tom.
That's tragic.
Tom was always your friend.
Tom, that was the one thing about MySpace. Tom was always your friend.
You always had one friend with MySpace.
But with
But with Facebook and Twitter, it's not the case. Not the case.
Snapchat sends me more snaps than any of my friends do.
I don't do the Snapchat.
I only do that because everyone my age doesn't know how to use phone numbers.
Hmm.
Then everyone your age has a real problem once they get older.
My daughter never talks to me on the phone. She texts me.
See, that's like that's like us using the rotating phone, man.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one? Oh man, you
The
get one
rotary
number
phone?
wrong. Yeah, the rotary phone, man. You
Nobody knew how to use those things, man.
I knew how to use a rotary phone.
I'm gonna tell you something. My daughter, one time she called me. I was in Fort Lewis, and I got a call from out of nowhere, and she's like, "Hi, Dad." And I'm like, "Hi." I'm like, "Where are you at?" And she's like,
What
"I'm
up?
at the beach." He goes, "I'm on a payphone," and she was so excited.
You were like, "What part of town are you in with a payphone?"
Yeah. It's like, didn't they get rid of all those?
She was so excited, man.
She never used the payphone, huh?
She never used to payphone.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I find no fault in that, right? Because they were everywhere when we were kids.
I mean, when I was a kid, payphones were everywhere because it was the 90s.
Do you remember when you found that one payphone in your city that was actually so in my city, there were 3 payphones that you could call long distance on, and the operator couldn't figure out that you were calling long distance on them. So it only cost you $0.25 and you could talk all day on them. And we used to make long distance calls from that payphone. We'd drive down the street and get on it.
Yeah, man, those were the days.
Yeah.
Those were the days when you go to arcades, man.
Oh yeah.
You come with a pocket full of quarters, man, and you're gonna play. I used to play pinball like crazy, man. Oh, those were the days.
Were you a pinball wizard?
I was not a pinball wizard, but I really enjoyed it, man. It was. Oh, the Playboy Mansion. It was definitely my favorite.
Oh.
Yes, I love that one.
There you go.
The Hugh Hefner was my hero. Tell you that much.
Well, Hugh Hefner was everybody's hero back in that day.
Back in those days, he was.
Yeah.
So
good times.
I'm boiling a shotgun here because I need to review it.
Let's see. Gioshetta says at Night Strike, my dad is button challenged. He can't use a cell phone.
Oh, is he button challenged? They make cell phones that are big button for people who are button challenged.
That's right. Jitterbugs, man. Jitterbug.
Mm-hmm.
Jitterbug.
Yeah, get him a jitterbug.
Yeah, get a jitterbug and you get a $30 ARP card, man. It's a win-win.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
You don't have an ARP card?
No, you know why I know that? Because there's a freaking infomercial that keeps going on my channel all the time.
Yeah. Wait a minute, your channel has commercials? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude. All right.
Yeah, because I use like regular Air TV sometimes,
Yeah.
And it has, because I get to watch Chips,
Heck yeah.
All right.
Poncherello was every Mexican guy's fucking brand right there. Like
he's a real cop now. Did you know that?
Are you serious?
Yes, he is a real cop.
Oh,
okay,
my God.
Hold on. Leo, what's going on, man? What is the word on the street today?
Hey, what is good? I haven't been on this channel in a long time. Well, I
missed you. I also missed talking to you on Discord. Leo used to tell me what was going down in the neighborhood. Because he would just jump into a chat we were having, and then he'd have the window or the door open, and you could hear what's happening on his street.
Yep.
He lives right in the middle of Chicago.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
Right on the west side of Chicago.
So,
God love you, my friend.
I tell you not, nothing has been more entertaining. He's like, listen to this shit. And it's like, we listen to it, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious shit.
Oh, yeah.
I miss you, man. Where you been?
like I got a shift change at work, so I've been like working nights mostly. So I've been missing most of the chats
Well,
and
this is
stuff.
just a one-off thing. I don't. I'm not going to do this often. It's just, I tried to, tell YouTube to schedule all my chats for the week, and YouTube decided to say, "Oh, hit or miss is going to be tonight instead of tomorrow, like I scheduled it for."
Right.
You've got a crowd. I mean, come on, this is better than a normal night.
I mean, I guess we get more people jumping in. So, yeah.
So Defense Dad says they used to call from the payphone to the intercom system in the car we worked. The other bar hours just to let it run. That's funny.
Right. You know what? And I think we had got a lot of each other last year during the first part of the quarantine, where everybody was just on Discord all day, every day.
Well, it's because of the pandemic. We had nothing better to do at that point.
Right. Right. I think we was getting like irritated of each other.
I mean, I wouldn't get irritated if you, maybe just some of the other guys.
Right. No. Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. I think I got irritated for like 3 other people. I was like,
the only people that irritated me are the people that had bad internet and they would sound like a robot and completely, you couldn't hear a damn word they would say, but they wanted to be in there.
Man, they had that America Online.
No. Actually, you're not far off because I swear there was one time Cripple Nipple would talk, and I swear I heard a like the old 56K modem.
Cripple Nipple.
Yes, Captain Cripple Nipple.
How do I not know Captain Cripple Nipple?
He's on Never Enough Ammo's Discord.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Leo knows what I'm talking about.
So how do you get a name like Captain Cripple Nipple?
I don't know, but apparently he's a, he's law enforcement somewhere.
Got 3 nipples and he's a cop.
I don't know.
Huh.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I know.
I don't know. You'll have to talk to him.
I'm Googling the shit out of this right now as we speak. I'm sitting here trying to find the serial number on this shotgun. And I can't find it.
Hint, it's on the receiver.
Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? There it is.
Leo, do you have your mic off? Apparently.
What happened?
Yep.
So this is interesting. The polymer lower of this shotgun is the serialed part.
can you hear me?
We got you, buddy.
Okay.
I don't know if you muted yourself or what was going on.
I don't know either.
So.
You know what? I don't have the app on. I'm on the browser. That could be it.
That could be it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a smartphone, just use the app. It's better that way. They update it more often than I update this server. It's because I have to do it from I have to code it custom by hand, and I don't want to do it. I really don't. So, anyways, what are you looking at, Nighthawk?
I'm at Lanzer Arms, 12 gauge, and the serial number is printed in the weirdest place in the world. I found it though. Mission accomplished.
Lanzer, not Lanzer.
Lander, yeah, Lander.
Anyways, what are you looking at?
Holy Echo, Batman.
Holy
Yeah,
Echo,
that was me.
Batman.
Okay, I was like, what?
There we go.
Yeah, but they serialed the polymer lower of this, and so like I have one of my original MKA 1919 polymer lowers here, and I just had to look at it to confirm. It used to be that the polymer lowers weren't serialed on these import shotguns like this, but now they're. That means you can't trade these polymer lowers out for a nice aluminum one, because you'd be literally making a new gun.
I thought Panzer Arms were the ones that did the the 12, the AR-12.
Okay, so I have in this house right now. There are 9 different AR-12s by 9 different manufacturers and 4 different countries.
Uh-huh.
So some of them are made in the same country and are clearly imported and given a different import stamp because it's basically the same shotgun. And then some of them are like I have 3 different versions of the MKA 1919 over the years. And so, it depends on what you're looking at. You can look at certain manufacturing attributes and tell it was made in the same place. Some of these things look like they came out of the Khyber Pass, and some of them are just, like this thing right here looks like the Panzer Arms AR-12, and it is basically the same shotgun. Everything about it is the same except for it's got Lander Arms printed on it. And apparently Texas imports a lot of these.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting one, actually.
So I'm going to tell you that the 2 best ones I've ever tested were the MKA 1919 Match Pro and the Fear series are 2 of the best ones. The Fear 125 are 2 of the best ones I've ever done. The one that I just recently tested was really cool and really neat. I haven't had it long enough to know whether or not it wears well. The AR, what is it called? The M12 AR B1 by JTS. Neat. And it was cool because it has both an aluminum lower and an aluminum upper on it.
What's it called again?
The M12 AR B1 by JTS. New York Outcast says he only wants the best one. Outcast, the best one I've ever owned is the original MKA 1919 Match Pro, and it is in all the years I've owned it, it's never failed me even once.
Yeah, okay, I'm not getting that one. Because the only place to find it is Gun Prime, and they want like $1,200, $1,300 for it.
Yeah, you can find one here locally. Look up Big Bucks Pawn Shop. They have one for sale, and they'll ship it to you. I think it's like $6 something.
Oh, that's a winner. What do we call our pawn shop? We need a catchy name.
They've got 4 locations, dude. They're doing great with it.
Right.
Plus, they've got some GunTuber doing commercials for them. So, it's just.
Yeah, I got some GunTuber named Nighthawk Medic.
We got another moss pawn.
Basically, it's a good deal.
What a bargain!
Well, no, I don't hype them on my channel or anything, but I do their commercials for them and stuff. They're good people.
Just hype them. Go ahead, it's okay.
I'm not really into that on my channel. I want my channel to be about something that people can trust, right? They know if I'm telling them a gun works.
Yeah. Well, then get a T-shirt or get one of their signs and put it up in your man cave or whatever.
Yeah, when you start your videos with "Hi America," I'm like, oh hell no, you lost me.
Hey there, America! It's Nighthawk Medic again.
Oh boy. How far the mighty have fallen.
My wife does one, and she makes me laugh every time. And she says, "Hey, baby." And I say, "What?" And she goes, "I like it."
Oh, boy, that's awful. That is awful.
That's good.
I've only got one shotgun pump action. I love the thing.
What is it?
It's a Mossberg Slugster. I got it used for under $200 during the whole COVID thing.
Heck yeah, it's a good shotgun. Is it on the 500 frame? What is the Slugster?
Oh yeah, it's a blued 500. It's got an engraved receiver.
Yep. And
it's got the 24-inch barrel, ported, smoothbore with rifle sights.
That would work, dude. That's sweet.
That's not bad. That's not a bad deal.
I was specifically looking for that model too. I thought I'd have to find one used for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but yeah, I like it because it has the rifle sights, so I can shoot the Brennicky slugs that I like through it. But it's also smoothbore, so I can shoot regular shot through it, and it won't blow all over the place like a rifle barrel.
Yeah, my 1187 police model has the barrel on it with the sights, and then it comes. I've got a barrel, what do you call it? Rifled choke for it, and boy, that's fun with slugs.
Well.
Is anybody still finding shotgun ammo locally?
Yeah.
Not where I'm at. The only thing left where I'm at is the target loads, number 8 or number 4 shot.
It's the only thing PSA has in stock.
There's no ammunition left in any of the big box stores in my town. Like, not like there's no ammo. There's just no ammo. None. Nothing. The local Walmart has 2 boxes of 28 gauge, but every other type of ammunition in every big box gun store is sold to 0.
Wax slugs, I guess.
Yeah, I've been starting to reload shotgun shells and fill them with BBs.
I would invest in shotgun reloading if I could find primers.
Yeah, I've got a stockpile of them still. That won't last forever. But... How are you doing on ammo there, Mario?
Oh, I'm good because I'm conserving.
Smart man, not making gun videos. Yeah.
No.
Considering
no,
the background checks.
No, that's the reason why I reload, buddy.
There you go. I would not imagine anybody with intelligence in California not reloading. Yeah.
I saw the light like 2.5 years ago, man. I was like, oop, I need to find a way. Because I knew it was coming, man.
Stuff my own stuff, yeah.
You menace to society making your own ghost bullets?
Oh, yeah.
California's going to label those as ghost bullets and say they need to stop this.
With a 30-round clip.
These ghost bullets with 30-round clips and, laser sights and,
laser sights.
And silencers.
Yeah, the rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred, you're not a shotgun person. What do you do, buddy?
Pistols only.
Pistols? Cool.
Yeah. Dude, he's in Chicago. There's no need of a shotgun over there, dog.
Yeah, he doesn't need a shotgun in Chicago.
That's right. He just got to say, break yourself, fool, and shoots people. That's all you do.
And plus, we're limited to what type of shotguns we can have anyway, or put on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
God help you that you might have something useful for defense. God forbid.
Seriously, man. Seriously.
What a clock of shit.
Oh, man. Hey, is it just me, or is your mayor the scariest looking bitch I've ever seen in my life, dude?
Dude,
holy crap!
You should have seen the person she was running against to get that position. We didn't have a great choice in either of the two. Basically.
Oh man!
So was it
Beetlejuice and Lurch? Basically.
Oh my god!
Right, if you look up Tony Periwinkle.
Right. Oh my god!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, wow! Yep. Wow! Kids, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, those were the best choices we had in the whole entire city. So
my god.
Yeah.
I would have put the Blues Brothers in charge.
I would have too.
Red, I'm gonna need you to go run. What the fudge bunnies is this?
Yeah, man. Like what y'all doing, man?
Actually, Leo might actually get elected.
God, don't nobody wants this job.
No,
wants it. That's the problem.
Well, actually, the person that actually wants that job is either an angel or Satan. So it all makes sense to me now. You know what I mean? That is either the savior of the entire city or Satan playing along. So
and it's really sad because Chicago. I mean, there's a lot of good people in Chicago, man. And,
oh yeah,
they deserve better than what they're getting right now, man. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it ain't the people's fault.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just because I mean, to be honest with you, every Democratic run city is being run to the ground. Look what happened to Detroit. I mean, to be honest with you, Chicago is getting in that same level, man. That's scary.
I know there's somebody here actually from Chicago. What does your city need? Red, what would you do?
Red, we can't hear you.
He's probably still drinking his coffee.
I don't blame him. I would be too.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Lima Charlie.
I got it right. I need to download the app, right? I think it's this browser.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shoot. Well, like once we need to stop voting Democrat, but I don't see that happening. Like just to get something new in there,
right?
But it's not going to happen. There is a lot of pro Second Amendment people in the city that I've talked to, but they all still vote for the people who wants to limit their rights. And it's like, even when you try to explain it to them, it's like they just don't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we used to talk about going into countries and taking over a country, and it took 3 generations for the people of that country to actually understand freedom. So is it that bad there? Are people so indoctrinated that you're going to need 3 generations of,
Yes.
freedom? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that explanation.
Just make it simple. Yes. This whole city is just a bunch of sheeps.
That's depressing.
Welcome to a city run by Democrats.
Well, I've avoided those like the plague.
So
that's why I left Texas.
Right. Our murders have gotten so out of control, and it's like, don't seem they're not really doing nothing about it.
Well, what would you do?
What would you do?
Well, if we voted you in, what would you do?
First, I would strike down all those gun laws, so it'd be more easier to protect yourself. Take the handcuffs off the police, because right now, they're like doing it like with one hand tied behind their back, damn near both hands tied behind their back right now. And I mean, those 2 would just be a start.
Cool.
That I could think of just off the top of my head. The gun laws need to change, and take the handcuffs off. Take the handcuffs off the police.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but are there some parts of Chicago that the cops won't patrol, even though they probably should?
No, they pretty much go wherever they want. It's just that their like orders is to like back off, like don't do nothing.
Well, that's just going to encourage a mob mentality. That's going to encourage gang activity. I mean, people will join gangs just to keep themselves alive at that point.
Right. Even though they see what's going on, it's like somehow it's like what it seems like they are ordered not to react to it. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Like when there's like a large drug deals going on, and they see it happening, but they don't do nothing about it. Or when fights happen, a lot of times when fights happen, they just stand there and just look at it. Right there, give it a couple of minutes, and then they'll come in.
A lot can happen in a couple of minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know
Right.
how anybody can be.
But they
caught
let
in
it happen.
Chicago. Oh hell no!
Well, I just read an article a couple of days ago where they are quitting and their numbers are dropping. They are quitting. They finding new jobs. Something in security or
Top flight in the
like in
world,
the
Craig.
suburbs, right?
So
Outside of law enforcement.
my question is, who takes that job over, right? So is it really those bright-eyed justice warriors that we
Social
think,
workers.
or is it people? Is it lefty people, right? Do they come in and say, "Hey, I think I can do a better job," and then the next thing you know, your police department's full of leftists?
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know
Yeah.
what to say.
God, man, that sucks. From the bottom of my heart, that sucks, and I'm
It
sorry
does.
you have to live there.
Yeah.
Does.
I mean, like Night Strike and all of them always tell me, like, man, you need to move every
It
time.
ain't
Like, you
that
need to
easy.
move.
I know it's not that easy. I know it's not that easy. So
Right. And no, I think I told you once before I had thoughts of moving to Arizona, but now you see how Arizona looking right now. I was like, oh no.
Come on down here to Tennessee. We'd be glad to have you. We
You
need
know,
more freedom-loving folk.
Nighthawk has a point. Come down to the south. You'll probably be comfortable down here.
I'm trying to get you now. I'm trying to get you and New York down here because New York needs to leave New York too.
Well, New York's the only guy I know that would run into gas.
Right.
You know, if I moved to Tennessee, the first thing they'd be like, "Hey man, you know how to make tacos?" Like, seriously, dude. That's all you
No,
want me for.
I can promise you that would not be the first thing they would ask you. Hey, do you work at the carpet mill?
Mario, if they ask you that, all you say is, "Sure, I'm opening up a taco school next Tuesday."
Look, there's no taco schools here. The Mexican families that moved here figured out that old white Southern people like tacos, and they make the best. Dude, we have the best Mexican food on earth. The entire family, 4 generations, own the taco shop here. When people are like, I go to Taco Bell, I'm like, oh, screw Taco Bell. I'm going to go up to the Strickland.
That should be called Chorro Bell. You know, chorro means diarrhea.
Yeah, but I do want to taste some of that Tennessee barbecue.
Come on down.
Oh,
it is good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys put
we have
vinegar
good
on the barbecue?
It depends on what sauce you select. So we have a propensity to have 6 or 8 different sauces here. And so you can choose whichever one you want. And so we do our own rendition of the Carolina. We do, of course, a Memphis dry rub. We have a bunch of different types of barbecue here.
Right, that's what I want to get.
For anyone that doesn't know,
come on.
Carolina barbecue sauce is like a sweet, tangy mustard style barbecue sauce.
Good.
Instead of the the standard barbecue sauce, it's more of a mesquite barbecue.
But the Tennessee barbecue sauce is it's kind of in between sweet, and it's a little bit more. It's a kind of a stronger barbecue taste, a more smoky taste.
I would say it's got a stronger bite.
Yeah. We'll put a little hot sauce in it sometimes.
I have had Tennessee barbecue before because I've been to Tennessee before, but there's also a company that comes because in my local city / town, they do a barbecue thing every year. They do a whole barbecue thing where you basically you go to the barbecue, you get these tickets, and you go around to a bunch of these booths, and whoever gets the most tickets wins the barbecue. Wins the barbecue contest. And there's always this one company from Tennessee that comes and makes some of the best barbecue.
Do you know the name of it?
I do not know the name of them. No.
Is it Choo Choo Barbecue by chance?
No, it's a different one. But they don't come from Chattanooga. They come from like out in the middle of nowhere. I did look the city up. It's
Bob's Barbecue Shop, Athens, Tennessee. Smoky
Probably.
Bones is a big one around here, and they're from Athens, Tennessee.
Yeah, something like that.
See, man, you need like Sergio's barbecue or Julio's barbecue.
Dude, I welcome Sergio and Julio to bring their barbecue down here.
They're welcome too. You know.
Yep, bring them down. Let's do it. I'm a foodie.
But
Feed me.
That's the thing. You know, I don't care where it's from as long as it's edible and as long as it tastes good. You know.
Yep. Bring it on. So there is enough food selection in this state that I've gotten to the point where if you are cooking food and it is not what you cook at home, I'm not interested in your food anymore. I want to go eat somewhere else because I can get Mexican to cook Mexican food, Brazilian to do Brazilian stuff. I mean, there's such a diverse culture of food here that if you're not cooking that food at home, I'm not interested in it.
Patriot in the Dark says the Pampered Pig, best Memphis barbecue ever.
Oh, yes. Absolutely, Patriot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's more gooder?
It's
gooder.
More better, gooder.
Gooder.
Yeah. Right. It's more gooder. Right.
It's more better.
More better. More gooder.
Urines should come eat it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up. Pampered Pig.
It's good.
Mario, you should visit the South one of these days. And I don't mean you know in a military capacity. I mean in vacation capacity.
Oh yeah, well, I've been to the South and it was not a good experience. I tell you that.
It's changed a lot.
This is back in '89.
Right. It's a lot different. We're not all Southern Democrats anymore, man.
No, and the funny thing is, you know, in the South, all the major gun manufacturers are in the South now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, bro.
So you know, so honestly, you be with family more or less.
We have four.
And now you have the NRA.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to Texas.
We don't want to claim.
Yay!
We don't really claim them. They're like the redheaded.
Yay!
Dude, I am.
So basically, me. Okay.
I'm still an NRA guy. I still believe.
I don't have my membership.
No,
I
I don't believe in giving expensive trips to their administrators. Sorry, it's just how I feel about it.
Unless Wayne resigns, I'm not interested.
Yeah, Wayne is. I'm telling you, man. I remember when Charlton Heston was there, man.
Yeah, at least Charlton Heston believed in the message.
Oh yeah, no, but I just liked him to go for my cold dead hands.
Well, now it is cold and dead. Let's see him.
Yeah.
Well, no, here's the thing. When you say that now, all I hear is Alaskans singing that damn song.
I vote James Jaeger as new vice president of the NRA.
It'd be fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I definitely think it'd be fun.
He'll be calling everybody pussies. I can tell you that much.
You know what? The NRA could use some of that.
And then some veterans would call him a poser.
No, honestly, he's not. You know, I actually did an extensive research on the whole situation with James Jaeger. He's not a poser and he's not a quitter. You know, that situation that he was in, it was really a bad situation, man. And anybody that wants to,
you getting shot at, you find cover and then you shoot back.
Yeah.
That's basically what I've seen in that video.
Right. But the thing about it is that people are making it seem like he didn't render aid at the right time, which he did. But at the same time, you're being pinned down, and somebody's shooting at you with an AK, which most likely can go through your vehicle, right? And he's in a very thin-skinned Mercedes-Benz. There's only so much you can do.
So here's my thing, and I'm going to point this out to people. I've seen some people that thought they were bad mofos go south quick when the shit hit the fan. And I've seen some guys that we thought were going to crack suddenly turn out to be bull mooses.
Yeah.
And you don't know who you are until rounds start flying.
And I can tell you that because I had quite a few guys in my platoon. I had this one guy that talked a lot of nonsense, man. And when them bullets started flying, when we went to Fallujah, then
he went bitch.
Oh yeah, big time. But what I can tell you guys is that he was in this road called Route Irish, and Route Irish is considered the deadliest road in Iraq during that time frame. What it does is that it's a route that goes straight into Baghdad Airport, and it comes from the city from Baghdad over to the I believe it's west, southwest, yeah, west, northwest, uh, towards the airport. And I went through that road. I'm telling you, I got pop shot plenty of times. I can tell you that was the norm. You were going to get shot. You're going through Right Irish. I mean, it was a no joke kind of situation. Most of the time, they didn't mess with U.S. forces because they know that for one round you throw at us, we're going to throw like 300 at your ass.
Well,
So,
but it was one of the only routes that we drove consistently, and that's where the problem came in. Is if you
yeah,
drive the same route over and over again, you're going to end up with IEDs and everything else. Somebody's going
right.
to throw an RPG at you or an AK.
Oh yeah. But the thing about it is the way Route Irish is in that area where he was at, the it's kind of on a high ground, right? And then all the other houses that are near it are kind of on a lower ground, and there's like hundreds and hundreds little shacks all over the place, so they can just pretty much get on top of the roof and just snipe your ass, and that's what they did all the time. They love doing that crap, man. And because there was a lot of what we call dead space, where as you're looking down, there's like a lot of wadis and areas where you can't really see or high vegetation. They would love to hide in there and just take pop shots at you all the time. And that's exactly what happened to Jaeger and his team. So I mean, if anybody wants to call Jaeger a
Go,
coward or whatever,
go,
I'm gonna be honest
go
with
do
you.
it yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you went to Route Irish and you know what I'm talking about, and you've been through Iraq when I was there, I can tell you he's not a coward.
And that whole area between the Baghdad airport and the green zone is a nightmare. So I don't know that I would say crap about anybody else because I have no room to talk. I'm not a trigger man. I never was. So
Oh wow! Ghost Shadow says that Night Strike. I got banned from James Jaeger's YouTube for saying that you needed to take off your guns, clean them, and keep them at 100% because your life may depend on it working 100%.
I
Well,
I,
I
I
see.
feel like maybe we're missing some context there, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
I mean,
don't.
if he banned you for that, well, I wouldn't be surprised. Jaeger normally doesn't respond well to anyone who shows a conflicting viewpoint of whatever he's trying to say in his videos.
Right.
And I'll be honest, from what I've seen, he's a real dick to people who comment on his videos, anyways.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Yeah.
reason why he's lost a lot.
He says he's a professional, but if you're a professional and if somebody comments with a conflicting viewpoint on your video and you don't like it, well then don't respond to it or don't turn comments on. But don't tell me you're a professional and then just completely say, "Well, I don't fucking care about your viewpoint. Go make your own videos." When the guy who said it is an actual veteran who fought in Afghanistan, and two, he does make his own videos. And I'm like,
Okay,
what the
but
fuck?
the biggest videos, the biggest crock of shit video I've ever saw was there's this guy, and I think that video's still up. Some freaking security guard, a fucking security guard, fucking top flight security of the world, starts talking about how he got shot one time in a firefight or whatever it was. So he understands what James Jaeger went through. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, are you serious, dude? I'm like, I'm laughing half of the time watching this video, man. But look, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna defend James Jaeger because he is what's bad in our gun community. He's not the greatest of showmen for all of us out there. Like that whole crap that he did with MSNBC was a bunch of crap. I don't even understand why he did that whole AR-15, because he made the AR-15 look even more evil than what it was. He made it seem like it's the worst gun in the world, that only evil men have AR-15s. And like, I hate the fact that he even agreed to that crap.
Who, Jaeger?
I must have missed
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah, I missed that one too.
Oh yeah. There's I'm telling you, look it up. It just type in AR-15 MSNBC, and there's this video where they talk about how civilians are all training up on an AR-15, and how this is the most popular gun, and they interview like a dentist and some other dude.
Hold up. We got some more context from Ghost Shadow. He says, at Night Strike, he was talking about the gun is just a tool. You don't need to clean it.
Oh, well, that's... yeah, I'd have probably called his shit on that too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That worked great for the M16s in Vietnam, I heard.
I would hate to say this, but I think the entire United States Army from Vietnam called. They want to call Yeager out on his bullshit.
Most of what was wrong with the M16s in Vietnam was the United States Army didn't pay for the ammunition that they should have been using in them. But I have an AR-15 over here that has never been cleaned. It's probably at about 10,000 rounds. It gets oiled consistently, but it does not run as reliably as the one that gets cleaned every time I take it to the range.
I'm going to be honest with you. Every infantryman, either Marine or Army, they drill that crap in your
Clean
head.
your stuff.
Clean your stuff. You know, it's like if you're not doing anything, clean your rifle. That's what you're doing. Because, and I'm gonna tell you something. A perfect example.
Basically wipe down my bolt and re-oil it. And,
okay, hear me out. I
abortionate my barrel.
Okay, hear me out. A perfect example is Jessica Lynch. Why the fuck that happened? Because the bitch never cleaned her fucking rifle. And all of a sudden she got fucked in the ass, and all of a sudden she's an American hero? Fuck that. I'm sorry.
Nope, me neither.
You know? Clean your fucking rifle.
So do you know they just swore in 2,000 National Guard soldiers as U.S. Marshals?
How is that even fucking possible?
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now.
Well, you know, the only way that they can really do that is if they're actually law enforcement.
Yeah.
No, they're actually law enforcement, like civilian law enforcement.
Okay.
Because a lot of them are civilian law enforcement. That's the only way you can really justify it.
I'm looking this up right now because that's a little weird. Yeah, I'll be doggone. And it's not from a crazy news source either. Let's see here.
Prove it.
You know what really bothers me about all this crap is that why the hell do you need 25,000 troops for inauguration? I don't understand it. Because to be honest with you, if the people would have spoken, there's no need for you to have 25,000 freaking soldiers there, man. Just saying, man.
Where was all that during the riots last year?
Authoritarian. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna tell you something. They didn't even have 25,000 soldiers during the LA riots.
Nope.
How the hell are you gonna have one for inauguration?
Actually, all you really needed for the LA riots was about 15 more pissed off Koreans with Uzis, and we would have won that. Been over. Did you see the rooftop Koreans?
Yeah, dude.
And hashtag rooftop Koreans for the win, man.
Yep. I lived in South Central when this shit happened. You ain't got to tell me something I don't know.
There you go. Rooftop Koreans. You know it.
Yeah, man. So
one of my friends, his uncle was one of those rooftop Koreans.
Yep.
So.
Oh man, what a world!
This Biden administration is going to be fun for the next 4 years.
I would be really honestly surprised out of my brains if they were much more interesting than the Obama administration was. I would really be shocked.
And just sit back with your popcorns because it's going to be entertaining.
It's going to be lit.
You know, every time I look at Biden, all I'm going to think about is Walter, man.
Oh my God, you are so wrong. Armament and Axis wants to know why you didn't send him a link, and is it because of where he lives?
Armament and Axis, I know you're old, but there's this little thing at the top of the live chat that says pinned. If you need more of an invite than that, then you have issues. I know you're an old man, but, you know, open your eyes up, get your magnifying glass out, and click on that damn link.
Oh, he just called you typewriter. You need to come right in here and show him how it's done.
Yeah, man.
Show me how it's done, Grandpa.
You need to discipline him.
Ooh, you need to throw a biatch at there, you know.
Yep. Bia.
Oh my God.
Snapped in like a puck.
Guys, that was totally intentional.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Southern gun manufacturers, I know everyone likes to make fun of like all the Florida Man headlines. Like a lot of times, you gotta double check and see, make sure that
America's best and worst superhero, Florida Man.
well, so you got sometimes you gotta check like Florida Man arrested for throwing alligator through drive-through window. You like gotta double check and look and make sure it's real or not.
Yeah, you do.
And I came to the realization that Caltech is what happens when Florida Man designs guns. Because when that P50 came out and that image of the magazine cover came out, I thought it was fake.
Dude, I slobbered and was praying that it was not fake. I can't tell you how much fun I'm going to have with that thing.
Don't forget about Diamondback now. That's a fine gun from Florida.
Yeah.
I think
Caltech is what happens when Florida Man designs guns. Because
we don't
when
even
that
hear
P50
ourselves.
came out, the image of the magazine cover came out, I thought it was fake.
I thought I was having a stroke just now.
Hey, mute your YouTube feed, bro.
Yep, change your microphone.
I need to see the back of this pistol so I can see if there's a place to attach a brace.
I can't believe my voice is that annoying.
All of our voices are that annoying. We just don't know it.
No, mine. I know my voice is annoying, so I do this intentionally.
Yeah, and I smoke too many cigarettes.
You sound good, man. Don't worry about it.
So you're right.
There you go. There you go.
Leo's fine. You know, he don't get no crap.
He's got a little bass in his voice at least. The rest of us sound like freaking Woody Woodpecker.
Damn.
Okay. Thanks.
Dude, that sounded so bad.
That was like the worst Woody Woodpecker impression I've ever heard.
Okay, so that is my first attempt ever at Woody Woodpecker, so I think I did a pretty damn good
like you
job.
died at the end.
Practice makes perfect.
I ran out of air halfway through it. There you go.
That's better.
That's more gooder. Yes.
That's more gooder. There you go.
Now, who is somebody that keeps jumping in?
Probably armament.
Was that armament?
Oh, show's over, guys. Grandpa's here.
Man, don't let him start talking about ARP.
Yeah. Also, don't let him start talking about brother channel partner.
Okay, that video is up to 20K views. I'm sending the freaking manufacturer a message.
Which video is that?
My Citadel Warthog video says over 20K views right now. It is time for the manufacturer to send me a free shotgun to do some work with.
I agree with Ghost Shadow on this. The P50 is cool, but almost $1,000 for a Caltech is a bit much, especially with all the plastic and screws.
I think I have $1,000 Caltech. How much was that?
It's not worth the gamble to me, in my opinion.
Especially,
you're not wrong.
Especially because it takes P90 bags, 1, and 2, it's 5.7. Who has enough money to feed that much 5.7 in a magazine?
Just
I'm gonna pay nearly $1,000 for a 5.7. I'll just get the Ruger 5.7.
Yeah.
It's not that great a pistol.
No, but neither is the actual a 5.7.
Yeah, dude, my KSG was $1,100.
It looks like an unfinished crossbow.
It does look like an unfinished crossbow.
Grandpa's microphone working. Watch out.
Yeah, it worked. Y'all were talking about the whole, all the troops and everything else. And really, is this martial law on a small scale? Think about it.
Well, I think, it's like Outcast out there, right? When New York City, after basically 9/11 afterwards. Man, there was everywhere I ever went, there was a cop on the street corner with an AR-15, right? Nobody else in the city is allowed to have a weapon, basically. And the people just walked around like it was nothing. In my mind, what I was seeing was martial law, just like you're describing, right? And so if they begin to secure other parts of DC and not just the Capitol grounds, then I would agree with you. Yes.
Well, you know, all the state capitals are doing it too.
Mine isn't, but
well, not all, but a
yeah.
lot of them are. And I'm looking at it thinking, okay, let's look at just go back, look what happened with the election and the whole storming the Capitol. My ass, it was a lot of Antifa, blah blah. Anyway, gave them an excuse to incite a little bit of martial law because we're going to guard the elite. We got to guard them elite, but you're not allowed to guard yourself.
Well, yeah,
they're going to push gun control. You see what I mean? And it's like, are we kidding? What, you can't see this?
Are you? If you, well, Armament, we see the writing on the wall. We can see it just fine. But you know, remember their motto.
I know.
Never let a tragedy go to waste, and legislation
for
thee, but not for me.
Yep.
Which was made by my last mayor.
Oh yeah.
So you could thank us for that too.
Thanks, man.
Oh, we finally got Armament's response. I'm old, so fuck you.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, I just do it to give you shit.
Yeah, I know. I just do it to give you shit. We're all friends. We're all look. If we didn't tease each other and give each other shit, we wouldn't be friends.
Hey, if I really hated Armament Axis, I would say much worse things than I do. I just give him shit to give him shit.
Yeah,
It is now considered to be racism to talk about the Hiroshima bomb.
What?
Yep, I just got an MSN feed on my Google.
Racist to who?
We dropped the Hiroshima bomb because of racism.
So was it racism when they dropped freaking bombs and took out half of the Pacific Fleet?
I have to ask.
But it wasn't racism when Hitler killed all the Jews, right?
No, that wasn't.
How many African Americans died in Pearl Harbor?
I don't know.
I don't know. Probably a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess Pearl Harbor's now racist too.
Well, the Navy didn't. The Navy's one of those organizations that doesn't believe it matters what color your skin is, only that you served. So they didn't exactly record that statistic. You could go look it up by hand.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised at the number too, probably.
Yeah. Just like technically Hispanics were never segregated.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either.
No, think about it. Seriously. When you ever heard of a whole Hispanic club, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They were never segregated.
That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, now I got you guys thinking.
You do, dude. You totally have us thinking.
Stop that.
You think about it. They're gonna say, well, there's an old Hispanic group from Texas. Yeah, they all lived in the same place, but generally everybody was Mexican. Hello.
Yeah.
But they were never segregated.
Well, I can tell you this, Mario, and yes, I'm old-ish, and I've lived long enough to see a lot of this stuff and I remember seeing it as a kid. You don't understand it much, but I remember seeing it. You know what I mean? And you get older, and well, you really start thinking about it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Just like you think about it, Latinos were never segregated from Major League Baseball.
No, they were not.
Why would you need to be?
Yeah, really, because they were some great baseball players. Come on.
No, but think about it.
Yeah, I get it. I know.
Just saying. But now I got you guys thinking. Anyways.
You do, actually. I'm sitting here going over the list of people in my head.
Damn you, Mario. Damn you. Don't make me think.
Well, so one of my friends, who is, by the way, a Democrat, brought up a very critical point to me.
I'm surprised you're still friends with them.
Why? Why would I stop being friends with a Democrat? They're not the problem. And so he and I were talking about the fact that right now in our country, they've got us fighting each other so much and picking out different parts of each other so much and labeling each other so much, and that they're beginning to be able to separate us quite effectively. And they're doing a great job of it. So my friend, who is a Democrat, is a gun owner. He believes very much in the Second Amendment. He believes in a lot of things, but he also is a kind of an old, dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. He believes that America should have more social programs. He doesn't believe in socialism. But ultimately, he says he's tired of people calling him the enemy, right? And he's right. We've got to stop looking at fellow Americans as the enemy, because we're getting back to the point where we were, where people are being designed and drawn out by the color of their skin and crazy stuff like that. And that's going to be a huge problem if that continues.
I'm seeing the number 202 African Americans died in Pearl Harbor in like the first explosion.
That is
So
I'm glad
both
that
ships
record
combined.
exists.
Oh,
so
two
the
ships
Pearl Harbor
combined.
attack was racist too.
Well, no, because I guess the answer would be America didn't do it.
Also, there was a what happened out of it was a heroic act that was done by a black sailor.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
He got
Oh no!
no, well, no, but I mean that is
He
part
played
of
that
the
role,
thing.
yeah.
He played
Right.
that role, but I mean, you think about it. Black people were not given an opportunity to be gunners mates or whatever it was because they thought that they were colorblind. I mean, how stupid is that?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
they had to be cooks or whatever. And
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
And
And
he
you know
mounted
something?
a gun,
Mhm.
There you go.
and he had a very forward thinking chief in his section that taught him how to use the gun over the course of his time as a cook. And when the chips were down, he mounted the weapon and did a great job.
Yeah, but
I was going to say what you were saying about your Democrat friend and all that. And look, the problem is, you know, and I'm going to tell you a real quick story. I had a teacher in high school named Mr. Zabo. It was spelled S. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Really good teacher. Years later, I'm 25 years old, working at the gun store and working at the range, and he joins our range. Come to find out, I knew it back then, but come to find out, he's a Democrat that owned guns, and we had a really long discussion about gun rights. But this is in the 90s, okay? So, but the problem is we have been labeled by race, by whatever orientation they can separate us by. That's what they are trying to do, to separate us no matter how they can, to divide us.
Now, here comes the ugly part. When you point that out to people and you point out what group they're assigned to, they become offended by it. And here is where they continue to win that fight. So if you're not willing to acknowledge that you have a group label in their organization, you will not understand how they're going to use you against other people. And no matter how many times I bring this up to people, they always get in the same behavior. Well, you can't put me in a group or whatever else, right? The fact of the matter is, if we don't start to acknowledge what group we are being placed in and understand how they're using that against us, we are all going to end up fighting each other.
There you go. You just nailed you nailed exactly the point I was getting at. They are dividing us for a reason.
So if you are in group A, and you know you're in group A, and you can acknowledge what characteristic of you they are using to place you in group A, you can use that against them. If you try to pretend you don't exist in that group in their reckoning, you're just going to end up being used against us.
What's that phrase? Divide and conquer?
Divide and conquer. Yep.
History repeats itself. And I've said this many times. Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. You can think you're the smartest motherfucker on the planet, but you ain't going to learn wisdom until you've lived and learned and understood how it really works.
And made some mistakes.
There you go. Exactly right.
I wish everybody would treat each other like we treat each other in the military. we ain't got no damn color in the military.
Nope, none at all.
What, like smack each other in the back of the head and shit?
No. I mean, my point is, we have black generals, we have Hispanic generals, we have Asian generals,
and those people's name are General Sir.
We have sergeant majors,
and we had a what, you Mexican? What'd you go? First sergeant? How far'd you go? Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. And my thing is that they didn't look at me that way. They only looked at me as a leader. Hey, you know what? This guy's leading. He knows. And the thing, we all treated each other with respect, man. We all, we're one family. And I mean, seriously, we were one family, man. The thing about it is, you have to be, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that same person, he's got your back no matter what, and you don't look at his color. You don't look at it. That's your brother. That's your sister. It's just. I just wish we would treat each other the same way we treat each other in the military, man. We would be a whole lot better nation.
Well, hey,
I don't know. I don't want the neighbor trying to screw my wife. I'm.
Wait, what?
Whoa!
Okay,
Missed that.
We don't need to talk about the raunchy shit that happened. Okay.
I think we missed a couple steps there.
I'm talking about the moral aspect of respect. This fucking dude, I swear.
I need you to explain that to me in full detail.
No, that's OPSEC. We can't talk about that.
That is OPSEC.
Can I say this? You remember, united we stand, divided we fall. That's what they're doing.
Go Shadow Knight, right? Anyone replace the TP with TP, it was contaminated with CF's gas. I used to take off my
CS on the asshole. Ouch.
Yeah. I used to unscrew my mask after we'd been through some CS, unscrew the filter on my M40, turn it around backwards, and blow CS onto people's faces while they were asleep.
Well, that's just evil.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Doc, why'd you do that to me?
Docs are horrible, man. I'm telling you.
That's worse than like sharpieing their face while they're sleeping. Come on.
But I'm gonna tell you something. As much as Doc gives you crap or whatever,
nobody loves you more.
No, not only that, but that guy, he already knows like what's wrong with you. That's what's crazy about it, because he knows everything about you. Like, let's say you have a bad knee, he knows exactly what's wrong with your knee, where it hurts, or whatever the case may be. So when they're picking you up and they're taking you in the litter to go into the hospital in the helicopter, he can tell you, hey, keep an eye on his knee or his shoulder or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So
he's got some breathing problems. He 6 years ago he got popped. You learn your guys and you love your guys, and that's what's wrong with our society is we don't love each other anymore, and we don't do anything together anymore. I mean, what we're doing right now is pretty awesome, but I can count on two hands the number of people in polite society that I interact with on a monthly, daily, weekly, monthly basis, and COVID has made that worse. We spend less time around each other.
Hey, who got the flu this year? Wasn't it all COVID?
If you go to the CDC's website, the flu no longer exists.
Yeah, it's all COVID.
Yeah,
it's
all BS.
I actually had the COVID. Don't even get me. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh, you got the coof.
I've noticed that everybody who had COVID has the same symptom. They won't stop fucking talking about it.
I know. It's just it's all political. It's so political. It's just politically driven BS. Yeah, it's out there, but so is the flu. But nobody has the flu. Yeah.
Well, when I went out on the first round, for when they first started doing the testing, because I had something in December that made me feel like I was going to die, and I'm a heart patient, right? And so I went to my doctor, and he said, you have some kind of a virus, and it's messing you up, and so they put me in the hospital, and they did all that crap. Well, I went to do the first round of COVID testing, and they asked me a series of questions, and one of the questions they asked me was, had I been sick or if I had ever suffered from any other type of coronavirus. And I had to tell them, well, I was exposed to SARS in the Army. And they said, I'm sorry, we can't test you. And I said, why? And they said, because we can't tell the difference between one coronavirus's antibodies and another one.
SARS is a corona.
Yeah, and so I said, now wait a minute. So is the common cold and half a dozen other things.
And the flu. And
yeah. And then she immediately stopped talking to me and told me she couldn't help me. So that's what I maintain there. There is definitely something going around, but I don't think it's the end of civilization as we know it.
The thing that bothers me is, the big COVID scare, masks, and, President Trump bringing in the hospital ships, and we got to make respirators, and guess what? They didn't need any of it. They made this shit out to be like Ebola, which means if you get it, you're destined to die. And come to find out, we got over a 99% survival rate from anybody that gets said COVID-19.
Yeah.
Scare tactics.
At Night Strike from Ghost Shadow. Threw CS contaminated clothes and dryer, then ran duct into someone's room. Several guys wondered why we had over 100 feet of dryer duct in storage room.
That's just bad. Why would you do that? I don't know.
Why would you not do that? Why would that?
It would be payback. It would be payback time after that. But
All right. And on that note, it's midnight, and we have gone way longer than I thought we would.
But this is Midnight Range.
No, we're not Midnight Range.
Sunday night. Sorry.
It's not Sunday night. This is not the closer.
Dang it.
We'll see what happens when we get like-minded people that like each other. That's what
that like talking.
This is a lot
about
of
just
fun.
everything. So with that, we're gonna see you guys later. You guys take it easy. Shut up! Be infringed.
Don't pee in the fridge.
Don't pee in the fridge. Don't pee in the cold box.
Vote for Pedro.
Take someone shooting.
Vote for
James Yeager is vice president of the NRA.
Hashtag 2A strong.
Hashtag Jimenez Tooth. Hashtag give them the bird. Bird is the word.
Bird is a word.
Yep.
God damn.
Hank Strange is a pump.
Maybe go. We
want to thank all the Hunan Mohammeds, for supporting Hank Strange. We know he truly appreciates that sweet seat sponsorship money they get him. So with that, we'll see you later. Take it easy, y'all. And
Can I get some sweet tea sponsorship?
I would love some of that too.
I'd be happy to get cheap whiskey sponsorship.
Hey man, give me Tapatio endorsements. I'm down.
There we go.
Give me